Have you ever wanted to play online franchise in MLB The Show? Well, SDS will never give us that. So today, we're taking two franchise YouTubers to go head-to-head in a rebuilding challenge. Today, me and zbrodie are gonna go head-to-head in a never-seen-before challenge on MLB franchise YouTube.
Hate to do this to you, but you're going down.
You sure about that?
We're both taking over the Colorado Rockies for 5 years with a unique challenge.
Over the next 5 years, we are going to have to win a World Series, building a contending team, the best team that we can, and hopefully better than our opponent in this franchise rebuild. But the challenges inside this are that we, like the Colorado Rockies dealing with the Coors Effect, aren't allowed to have any good pitchers. So in order to represent that, we cannot draft any pitchers. We cannot sign any pitchers in free agency. We cannot trade for any pitchers, meaning that every pitcher that we acquire has to be through waivers, through that last, garbage week of free agency, or the Rule 5 draft, or just players already on the Colorado Rockies roster. In addition, to represent that Coors Effect, we must get the most powerful lineup possible. To break the 307 home run record mark set by the Atlanta Braves, we must then also have a drafted player in our lineup to force us to scout and not just throw away all of our prospects. So over the next 5 years, you're going to see us go back and forth to see which one of us can make the best team in this rebuild challenge and see who can hold the crown as the best MLB rebuild YouTuber in this space, because there's only two of us and one of us has to have the belt.
Good luck, and may the best rebuilder win.
So taking a look at his roster to start off, what my plan is for this rebuild is I think I'm going to focus on trying to build around Dollander. I don't really want to get rid of him. I hope he can perform. I don't think he's got the greatest stats to do so. The control is low, but he's going to be the guy that I need to rely on. Now, looking at the rest of the lineup, there's a couple guys that I like and a couple guys that I don't like. For getting home runs, Hunter Goodman is going to be the best catcher I'm going to be able to find. Now, I'm hoping we can get his contact versus righties up, because that's pretty bad. But for the power stats that he has, you're really not going to find a better catcher in all of Major League Baseball. He's probably a lock on this roster for the rest of this rebuild. One of the reasons I wanted to use a more updated roster is because I think Moniak is definitely a guaranteed guy now, too. Such good power against righties. I hate that he's so bad against lefties. Maybe he's just a platoon. That could be a part of what he's going to be. But now that he's starting to break out this year, I do think that he will be an essential piece to just getting a lot of home runs. And just a guy who's generally pretty consistently good in this game, Jake McCarthy, I think, is going to be the center fielder I want to rely on long term. Those are really the only three players on the roster that I think are safe. Obviously, this does mean that a guy like Ethan Holiday could be somebody who I think is going to develop that needs to be a piece of this team. Hopefully, he will be one of the better players to do so, but we need to get that power rating going up as well as his contact righties. But the real power bat in the system is Charlie Condon, who is somebody who they got specifically for his power rating, and he has not developed as fast as I think they would have liked him to, but I think for our standards should be pretty good. Right now, it looks like he'd be actually a pretty good platoon for Mickey Moniak at this exact moment, but he does have a little bit of a ways still to go. And so that leaves a lot of guys in the lineup that I think could be gone partially through the season. Maybe at the deadline, we're going to move off of them. Tyler Freeman, Ezekiel Tovar. I do think that Bretton Doyle is a player or a piece that has value, but not necessarily for me and what our goals are here. So we are probably going to move and make some moves to get rid of some of these guys off the roster right away. Now, most of our long-term goals, though, are going to be reliant on this salary and this budget that we're kind of stuck with. Because we have Chris Bryant's contract here and the Rockies are bad at this moment, we're kind of stuck in the sense of like, I can't really make a move right away to sign a large contract of guys. We need to have some success in order to be able to have more money to spend. And guys like Yordan Alvarez, or maybe in the future, if the Mets are bad, getting Juan Soto, that could be great too. But we need to focus on getting a cheap, decent roster first with the guys that we have, so that way we can go out and get the big bats that we're going to need to hit that 307 mark.
Big fan of this rebuild challenge and even bigger fan of BigIrrelevant. So I'm excited to be going head to head here. We'll see what we can do. Obviously need to hit a lot of home runs. And as far as the guys currently on the roster, there's really one or two main guys. So you got Hunter Goodman behind the dish. We'll have our eyes on him for sure. I think he might be at his max potential already. So we'll see what he can do this year. And then Mickey Moniak actually looks very promising. Very feast or famine here. So he's either going to hit a home run or he's going to strike out. So hopefully it's home runs. You've got Chase Dollander as our only real pitching option here that we're starting out with. Obviously, we've got some interesting challenges to work around on the pitching side that I'm excited to figure out here. Only problem with Dollander is the control. So we'll see with his A potential if that's able to work out. I'd love to keep him on the team. If not, we just trade him for guys who can hit home runs. Yeah, the rotation is not necessarily going to be the focus of this video, but it'll be fun to be, to get crafty and see what we can find in the Rule 5. Bullpen, there's a couple guys in here like the human glitch that might work, but, he's 32, so we'll see if he can last the whole video. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this. Top prospect-wise, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot that we're working with here besides Charlie Condon. Maybe some potential here, but mostly I'm going to be trading from our prospect pool to get certified home run hitters throughout this video. I don't really care about our record here in the first season. Going to be a lot of rebuilding. That is my plan. We are actually off to a 5-3 start, but what I really do care about is the scouting and the drafting. So my plan for this video is to focus on two things: potential and power. That's all I'm really looking for. Cannot scout any pitchers, obviously, but we'll still try to discover some position players and, try to take that lottery ticket, see if I can get lucky. But I'm going to prioritize guys that look like this: power profiles and a combination of potential. I don't know if Claudio Garcia is going to be good, but I definitely want to find out. And same thing with David Ramirez, right fielder here, who has very well-rounded stats and some great, I'd say good power. So these are the kind of guys I'm looking for. We'll see what pops up on the board here. I need to make sure I scout deep into classes so that I have enough picks throughout this video, but that's really the plan: power and potential.
I think a big question this entire rebuild is going to be who is going to find the generational talent to be able to add to their roster. I'm hoping that I found it in Sean Palmer, just because the steal rating is potentially a 0 rating. Not like there's a lot of power there, but one of us is going to find one. We don't have the top pick, so there's no guarantee we get him. But one of us, I think, will find one. But who even needs? I don't even need to start. We don't even need to draft guys. Apparently we're the GOAT because we're 14. Why does this happen for me? Why am I this lucky all the time? Like, look at this Rockies pitching staff. What? Jose Quintana coming for the Cy Young. Antonio Senzatella, give him reliever of the year. We did eventually fall off. I probably should have just traded everybody at that point because that was so ridiculous. But hey, we technically still have a shot. We're not going to make the playoffs, but just what a ridiculous, weird start. Interesting. So the Pirates have sent me a deal going for Oneil Cruz. It's not something I would have originally thought of doing, but Antonio Senzatella is doing really, really well. I put him on the trade block at the beginning of the season, and Tyler Freeman is doing really, really well. I think I'm probably losing out on some of the value in this deal, but Cruz is a power hitter, and we can buy low on Oneil Cruz and have another fantastic bat to play short or center field, and I can give him an extension or whatever. It isn't necessarily the best value, but I think I'm going to take this deal. And now that it is June 15th, this is probably the best time to start making our moves. We are above 500 because we just won a bunch of games there in a row. We're technically still in the race for this playoff run, but I don't see us as contenders at all. So June 15th is when now we can trade all the guys that we signed this offseason. The big one, who you can see in next game, has a 2.96 ERA, Tomoyuki Sagano. I'm hoping I can get some value from him, and I think that he'll lose next game, so I want to trade him right now. Same thing for Ryan Feltner. Quintana, not a Cy Young candidate. So, we have the worst contracts in baseball now. But hey, if we wanted to jumpstart the chances of this, I guess now we technically have playoff chances. We've gotten rid of Doyle and Tovar. And we got Devers and Adames, who's terrible. They're just worst versions of them. But, like, that's power. And I didn't get Sagano moved off the books for prospects. All right. Look, the Giants are generally bad, and they're always trying to move off this money. And this is $60 million we're snagging in contracts that are going to allow them to move, and they get young guys in return. So it makes sense for the Giants, who are terrible, and we're never going to compete with this. And if we're going for power, this is how we're going to do it. So I guess already in year one, this is our lineup, and probably our lineup for a long time. Adames, Devers, Oneil Cruz added to Hunter Goodman, Mickey Moniak, and Jake McCarthy.
Okay, this team is awful. 38-52. Not a whole lot going for us right now. And when we take a look at where we stand as far as home runs, setting the baseline for us of what we're trying to achieve here in the challenge, we are second to last with 81. The two guys that you would expect, Moniak and Goodman, are leading the way here, 18 and 16, but not really helping us exactly win games. That's for sure. Good thing with Moniak is I was concerned about the vision and discipline, but he actually is getting on base at a 346 clip. So I've got some hope for him that he can stick around for a while. There's a few guys in here with 700 or better OPS, which is nice. But I don't know, a couple big names, Tovar and Doyle, they're going to have to go at some point. Doyle, by the way, is really bad in this roster. I don't know if he was just awful in real life last year or what happened, but yeah, so those guys have some potential, and we're probably going to want to trade them here pretty soon. Couple of promising things here in the bullpen, a couple of starters between Quintana and Sagano, and actually Feltner, all pitching pretty well, but these two guys are older, and they can't really stick around, and our one young promising guy, Chase Dollander, has the worst ERA on the team, so we've definitely got to take advantage of his potential and his value and trade him at some point, no question about it. I've got some very exciting options in this draft. The number one player is on my board here, and it's Claudio Garcia, who looks amazing. Unfortunately, the Rockies pick at 10, which is really low for how bad they've been, but I guess you can't really tank forever, so that's fine. We do have Evan Gallagher here, who's also very promising, good defense, at least good power against lefties, and he moved up the board quite a bit. Another guy ranked 12th here is Hoyt Gomez, who the positive thing with Hoyt is now the potential is going to be a little low, but the overall is going to be high, and he's got some great contact and power, and hopefully he can stay to our pick at 10 because I like him quite a bit. I've got some later round plays, some mid round plays in here as well. There's really one notable one, and that is Reggie Drew. He's going to have a low overall, but should have high A potential. And yeah, we've got a couple guys for later on, but I don't know. It's really going to come down to the top of this class and who we can get here with the first pick, and then the rest of the guys, we'll just do the best we can. They're probably going to get traded at some point anyway. So round one, we want Garcia, Gallagher, or Gomez. That's all that I've got on my board just to start things out here. Need to pray that at least one of these guys stays, and there goes Garcia with the first pick. That was gonna be, we're gonna need some luck for him to land all the way down to pick number 10. Here we go for pick 3, Guevara. Didn't scout him because I thought he was going to go ahead of us. He did look pretty cool, but a little too good to be true. All right, so simulating ahead. Are Gomez or Gallagher going to be here for my pick? Gallagher is, Gomez is not. So we're not going to get this power hitting first baseman, but we are going to get Evan Gallagher, and I like him. He actually might be our center fielder long term, looking at the defense and the speed. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a good first pick. I like Evan Gallagher, and hopefully we'll see him in the next few years if his overall is high enough. This team continues to be absolutely awful. We got a big moment here. First year draft picks. It's time for the big reveal. This is obviously key to our future success as a team, going for World Series titles, going for power. Let's do the big reveal here and see how we did. And there we go. 97 potential for Evan Gallagher and 73 power versus lefties right out of the gate. I should be able to get his contact and discipline, all those hitting stats, trained up to a point where he can make use of that power. He's also got nice defense and speed. I think he could project as a center fielder. That is a great pick for us. What else do we have in here? Reggie Drew, 96 potential. Great prospect to trade here. A lot of value in that, along with some of these. Look at the bottom four here, 96, 91, 94 potential for Willard Garcia, another guy that I can trade, and 97 for Pablo Ramos. Now, obviously these guys are low overalls, but this was exactly what I wanted to do with my strategy here, was draft guys like this that we can look to trade next offseason for power bats, and then I think Gallagher is going to be the main guy to stay on this team. We need one player that we drafted to be a part of this team. I think the power is going to work out with Gallagher, and I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. He's also only 18 years old, so I don't know. I feel like this is a really good first draft. I mean, power and potential, that's what we were looking for. There wasn't any crazy outlier power guys that I could get, but Gallagher is going to be just fine.
Taking a look at the prospects that we ended up scouting this year for ours, Sean Palmer is the top guy on the board. He was not a generational talent, or at least I don't believe he is after scouting him for 3 weeks, but could be semi-generational, could be still very, very valuable. He's my top guy. Emil Rios is probably actually the best player on the board, but doesn't have a lot of power, so I'm not sure. We're at pick 10, so we're kind of left up to the fate of the rest of the game to decide. Antoine Rubio is probably the best player for this challenge specifically, though, that we could possibly add to our team. Sean Palmer goes 2, so I don't get to get him. Without being able to take any pitchers on the board, we're kind of stuck with the guys that we have here. Now, the problem is all the guys that I really had near the top of my board are already gone. So the only other player that's on the top of my board is Antoine Rubio, and I think he'd be a great pick, but he's a non-ranked guy. And if we could wait and take the risk, I think I want to do that. Now, the question is, who would I take in his place? Because I don't know what else I would want. And we're really just taking a complete dive into, I don't know, it could be anything. So let's just do that. Let's not even look at what we're going to take. This guy's got good batting stats. Sure, Arnold Takahashi. And now I'm going to take Antoine Rubio because I'm not going to mess with it any further. I don't know if we hit big on any of these guys. Takahashi could be interesting because he's already a 66 overall. Same thing goes for Antoine Rubio. But none of the other guys look that interesting. Their overalls are just too low to have a lot of value here. So at least we replenished our farm system. Now I've got prospects to move if I have to.
Honestly, I look through the entire trading block here, and there's not really any good power hitting options that we can get from teams that are selling off right now. The best position player really is Gleyber Torres, who I do like, but I don't think he's meeting my power threshold. It's like all pitchers here. So I'm going to try to look around and maybe see if we can maybe cash in for like a power hitting prospect somewhere. That's my plans here for the first trade deadline. Okay, first big trade for zbrodie's Rockies here. I went for Spencer Jones, and we'll see if the power's legit. He's going to need some more development, just generally. But center field is a tough spot to get good power in, and I don't really know if he's actually projecting as a center fielder, but it's worth a shot, I think, and I gave up Willie Castro and just a few other random guys to get it done, some prospects for Spencer Jones, who's a little bit closer to the show. We'll see if he ends up factoring in here in our home run race.
I mean, at the deadline, we're still technically in the race of things. We could still make the playoffs. We're not going to, but we still technically could. The NL wildcard's just stacked, so it's not going to happen. But we're not going to be the worst team in baseball. That will probably be the Giants, because they are... Actually, never mind, they're a game behind us. Mickey Moniak is an all-star. Jake McCarthy is an all-star. Despite the fact we traded him, Tyler Freeman's an all-star. So right before the deadline, we've got a couple guys on expiring deals that I don't intend on bringing back. One being Willie Castro, and the other one being Tomoyuki Sagano, both being offered to me by the Brewers in different deals. So we're going to make both deals here with the Brewers. I want Andrew Fisher. I have to decide, do I want Brock Wilken or Blake Burke? I think I want Burke if I'm also getting Fisher. So we're going to take both of those deals. It's going to kind of, you know, get rid of our best pitcher here and one of our best bullpen arms. But hey, that'll be something that I think Andrew Fisher could be potentially future third baseman.
So finishing out the first season here, 67 and 95. Good, solid tank for us to get another high draft pick. Hopefully, we don't go all the way down to 10 here. I want to check on a couple of the guys and just see what we got here. Starting with home runs. So 31 for Moniak. I mean, if all 9 of our starters hit 31, we're on a good path to get to the record. So it makes sense for me to keep him going into next year. He'll be in his second year of arbitration, and we could see what he's able to do. We also got 24 out of Goodman, which I really wanted more, but he's just getting into ARB, and I don't know, there's more upside here than that. The profile looks good. He's got enough contact to make use of that power. So these are the 2 guys I highlighted, and the guys that I really care about going forward to stay on this team. And let's take a look at the OPSs real quick here. So Goodman led the way. Edouard Julien cooking here. Jordan Beck, yeah, there might be something there. I don't know. Not thrilled about some of these guys. I mentioned before, we've got to trade Doyle and Tovar. They didn't have any value during this season because of how bad they were playing. But in the offseason, I'm going to look to trade them. And how many home runs did we hit as a team? Just to know where we're starting from. So we had 143 in season 1 here. 29th, only ahead of the Giants, which is concerning. Very concerning. The most was 253 from the Yankees. So at some point, I don't think we're doing this super, realistic. Might get a little iffy with some trades, like maybe try to trade for Judge at some point if he's not, he's probably going to be untouchable. But we'll see what we can do throughout the years here. So season 1, not much to cover there. Let me get into this offseason, and we're really going to start cooking with my Rockies. Real quick before I get into the offseason, no surprise here that the Dodgers ended up winning the World Series over the Mariners in 7 games. So very good series there. That could happen in real life if the Mariners get it going. I did want to look at the awards just to see what's going on here. So MVP, Matt Olson. How about that? Is there any world that I could get a trade going for him? That's a pretty friendly contract that we could definitely handle. Soto in here. Stowers is another one. I considered trading for him, but I didn't quite have the value to get that done. So Cy Young's not as interested in that. Maybe we can sneak a Cy Young with one of our Rule 5 guys. That would be pretty cool towards the end of this year. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. Oh, let me check American League. So Judge, Colson Montgomery. Now this could be an interesting shortstop to trade for. Again, it's going to take a lot. We'll see what we can do. And then Nick Kurtz as well could be a guy to go after in terms of the power. So 3 straight MVPs for Judge here.
So we end the season with 78 wins, 84 losses. Don't make the playoffs, don't make the wild card, but honestly, we acquired so much talent that I don't think it matters. We didn't have all of our power hitters this year, but we still ended up 8th in home runs by the end of the season with 214 homers, just beating out the Cubs. And Mickey Moniak did end up leading the league in doubles with 54 doubles by the end of the year. Soto was the MVP in mine. Cy Young goes to Skeens. Skubal goes for the 3rd straight Cy Young, and Munetaka Murakami, Rookie of the Year and MVP. The scary part for us is that Jace Dollander had a 5.6 ERA with a 1.64 WHIP. We got to get that control up because he is. At least he gets strikeouts, At least he gets strikeouts. This is our best pitcher that we're gonna have. Maybe we'll be able to snag some guy in a Rule 5 draft to be able to add to it, but. Yeah, you're not going to get much better than that. Our bullpen, I think, can still be pieced together with random pieces at the back end to be able to make it work, but that's a pretty rough start for Dollander. Though I think the fun thing is that our team is pretty much set now. Not that it has to be set. We obviously have Holiday as well as Condon who've got to come up, but Moniak, 272 with 28 home runs. Julian hit 20 home runs, which is awesome. We got 22 from McCarthy, which is awesome because he's not really a power guy here. Goodman hit 29 again. Cruz hit 25. Kyle Caros hit 19. Devers hit 26. Adames hit 25. If these 2 bats can get better again, then I think we're going to be in good shape. We can move Devers back to 1st. We can move him to 3rd if we really have to. He can play whatever position he really wants to play here in Colorado. We just need to get Holiday and Condon up, and then whatever guy that we think is going to be the prospect that we draft up. But going into this offseason, I don't plan on signing really any free agents to add to this team outside of Rule 5 pick-upping any pitchers that we need to get or, waiver wire guys. Rematch, Dodgers beat the Blue Jays. We actually have negative money in free agency because of what we did with the Devers Adames deals, as well as I think I signed some guys long-term. So I can't pay anybody anyways. So Rule 5 is the only way we're going to be able to add players to this roster. Being that good does make us lose out on some those would have been really, really nice to have in the Rule 5. So what do we have as an option? Because we basically are only taking pitchers. I can't afford Barrios, but not bad. Houka's not that bad. So, this just looks like this is going to be our rotation here. We're going to take 2 guys off of... Yeah, that'll be fine.
Some very interesting trade targets here in the offseason, going through the list here. You've got somebody like a Joe Adell, elite power. I don't know how much of it he can make use of, but the thing is he's not going to be that good outside of the power, so I want guys that can also help us win, and he had negative WAR. But either way, a lot of power there. Schwarber is here, which is enticing, but he's at $30 million a year, and I legitimately don't know if I can afford that after this first season. Plus, he's 34, so not sure about that. Some of the guys I'm more interested in might be a Josh Young here. Now, he would probably have to be a DH. I don't think he can actually play the field because it's pretty rough over there. The guy that is really... Seager is also interesting, but same thing with Schwarber. I can't really quite afford that deal just yet, so I want to come back to that. Jose Fernandez could be interesting. The guy that's really catching my attention right now is Brent Rooker. He's on a deal that we can afford here, $12 million a year. And he only had 24 pumps last season, which is surprising. But I think he's my main target because the power looks good. His potential is A, and he's only 80 overall right now here at 32. So he should be able to keep getting better under this contract as opposed to like a Schwarber who might start to regress. So I think he's going to be my main target, and I'm going to try to figure out a move here, and it honestly might be Chase Dollander. I think Dollander is super valuable, and just because of his potential, and eventually he is going to pitch well, but I kind of want to trade him because I can find some good budget options even with our restrictions. And look who else the A's have. Hoyt Gomez, who is on my draft board. I want to get him as well, and he could be a first baseman for us long term. So I'm probably gonna have to throw something else in here besides Dollander, but let me see. Obviously I'll let you know if I'm able to get this across the line. We've got plenty of prospects that I can pull from. It may be a little tough to attract some of these free agents in the first offseason, but we'll see what we can do here. I've got 3 good power hitting options available. Brandon Lau looks great. Not only the power, they gave him way too much credit defensively in this roster, so I think he could be really good. Arozarena as well. More well-rounded, but he did have 28 homers last year, so that's pretty solid, and I think he's decent. And then should we give Gino Suarez a shot here at third, one swan song out here in Coors Field, and see what these guys can do? So those are my targets, and hopefully I can land all 3. Obviously cannot get pitchers in free agency, so I'll be checking the waiver wire to see if anything comes through, but mostly my plan is to get pitchers through the Rule 5, and also that last day of free agency. So we'll see what we can do from there. By the way, I'll show you that the human glitch, Jimmy Herget, had a 2.02 ERA last season. So I may actually end up making him our closer, but he's asking for a lot of money. So that's the only real notable thing I wanted to call out on the pitching side. I also targeted Anthony Santander here, and the Rangers just gave a return offer, a counter offer that is worse than the one I just gave them. So we can trade the number 2 prospect in the league, Pablo Ramos, for Santander, and then this other catcher, Braxton Fullard. So Ramos is going to be great someday, but just not really in our competitive window, and he doesn't have that much power. And Santander, on the other hand, looks like he could be the perfect first baseman for us on a 4-year deal here. So I am going to accept this trade, and here's our other one coming through in the same clip here. So Dollander and Willard Garcia, another guy that I just drafted with a potential, going out for Brent Rooker, a big target for me. And then we've got our guy Hoyt Gomez, who should also be able to take over at first base, maybe when we move Santander to the outfield or DH. I'm liking where this is going here, so let's stop simulating that one, and then I'm going to accept this trade for Santander. So things are moving pretty quick here. We've got some power coming in and some prospects going out. One more kind of smaller trade here. I wanted to free up some payroll, so I traded Kyle Freeland and Tyler Freeman, who we don't need anymore in the outfield, doesn't have the power, lost potential. I traded them for Jordan Lawler just to have somebody cheap that still has options available that can play multiple positions. So that was just a quick small trade I wanted to note. Need to free up some payroll to pay all these power hitters because they're expensive. Okay, one more notable trade here. I traded for George Lombard Jr. I don't know if he's going to play for us or what, but he is a top 40 prospect, ranked 36th, and he was on the trading block, and I decided that I want to save the money from Jake McCarthy. I think he's decent. He's not a bad center field option, but I'm actually going to go with Brenton Doyle, which sounds a little crazy, but we'll talk about the team in a bit. This was more just to free up some more payroll because some of the free agents I want were going to eat away at the rest of my budget. Okay, I was able to land one of my 2 free agents so far, Randy Arozarena, 2 years, $16 million, and we'll see what he can do. I think he'll be pretty solid for those couple of seasons. Now, I'm getting a now or never here for Brandon Lau, so I've got to overpay him, and I'm going to go 3 years. He was asking for 2, but I really think I'm not going to find a second baseman, at least in the near term, that can hit with this much power and that good of fielding. So I'm willing to overpay a little bit. Actually, I think this is probably fair. But let's see. Contract decision for Brandon Lau. Potential 40 homer bat right here. And we did not land him. He is heading to the Yankees. They gave him a little more money, same amount of years. I was kind of hesitant to do this, but I think I've got to throw Jazz on the board here. The contact is bad, but the power's good, and he still has a lot of room for growth here. And the defense is also good, so let's give it a shot. We'll try to sign him. I can no longer get Gino Suarez, he's off the board. So I'm looking at Cody Clemens to play third and just be a cheap option for me. And that way I can afford a Chisholm. So let's see. So this is a pretty big moment here. We've got a 10% chance at that first overall pick. We actually weren't the worst team in the league last year. There's some really bad teams. It seems to be top heavy and then bottom heavy here in my save file. Not sure what's going on for Big Irrelevant. See who won. Probably the Dodgers won it. But can we move up here and get lucky? We can. We moved up to the third pick. That is going to help out a lot. Okay, another contract decision here. My other target, Jazz Chisholm. It's a little risky. Not always my favorite guy to sign. But I gave him a 5-year deal, and we're getting the phones here. Did he already make a decision? He is going to the Giants. 3 years, 20. I gave him a way better deal than that. So I had to go pretty hard here in the Rule of 5 draft. The main guy that I'm excited about is Tanner Houck here for a long-term starter with beat potential, good control, and I think he should be decent. So we'll see what he can do. That was the primary guy. I found a bunch of relief pitchers with some beat potential that will just let them cook. Michael Grove should be okay. Let's see, there was one other guy that was notable here. Let me make sure I find... let's see. Walter could potentially be a starter with that stamina. So we've got him. He's also a lefty. Trent Thornton also looks really good. He's 33, so I probably won't have him that long. And yeah, so 7 guys. I haven't been able to find anybody on waivers yet. And I'll need to sign a pitcher or two in the last day of free agency here just to fill out the rest of the squad.
The funny thing is, this is the final week of the big boards. This is traditionally when we would allow ourselves to be able to sign somebody. I'm going to bet you, I guess right now while I'm recording, I don't know what Brody's doing, that Brody probably can get some guys here. And there's some good players on the board here for me. But I'm $40 million in the hole. So I'm not signing anybody.
Day of free agency here, last chance to get a starter. And I'm looking at Cal Quantrill here, who is actually a relief pitcher, but I can get him on the low. And I'm going to just offer him a 1-year deal, and that should fill out the rest of our squad here. I think that's going to be it going into Season 2.
But I guess this is where we're going to make our money's worth in our rotation, because there's a couple guys here. Nick Mears, Luis Seal, who I absolutely love as potential guys to add to this rotation, because this rotation is terrible. I'm not going to act like it's not. So I think that's our best chance. Trent Thornton's not normally too bad. Because the control rating is good. So we might snag Luis Seal, Nick Mears, Zach McKinstry's a pretty good guy on waivers here. Henches is Henches was great last year. Okay, Henches. And then I guess I won't go with Thornton. That's 3 extra guys to add to the rotation. Fine by me. So we'll see how that ends up looking if we get all those guys, especially Heel will just jump into the rotation and Feltner will jump out. Feltner was actually pretty good last year, but maybe Freeland will jump out. I don't know if you can do that with Freeland. But we would just be replacing and adding some extra guys here in the bullpen that I think could be big pieces. Tyler Gilbert's actually going to be our closer. Not Uriel, Tyler Gilbert is going to be our closer. So we got Uriel, Tyler Gilbert in Rule 5, and Barrios and Houck. So if we get Yil as well, that'll be a decent rotation of Dollander, Houck, Barrios, Freeland, and Yil. But I think the fun addition in this lineup is going to be Charlie Condon is going to be back, or is, I guess, finally going to be up. I think he's got the stats. He's got definitely stuff for lefties to be up here. So we're going to put him into the lineup. He's going to be a big piece this year. And we're going to hope that this can be a 250 home run team, maybe a 500, I guess, record here. 81 wins. Now that our team costs $250 million, I'm all in. We're gonna make the playoffs. You know what? We're gonna feel confident. 30th in pitching. Who cares?
All right, all geared up here for Season 2 of zbrodie's Rockies, and I'll show you the lineup and the rotation. Obviously, we've gotten a lot better and changed a ton. Moniak is still coming back. We've got, and by the way, he cost a lot of money, 18 million. So hopefully he's worth it. Arozarena in the 2, Goodman coming back, Santander, Rooker. So these top 5 are really the power hitters as we try to climb up for that record. I decided to bring both Doyle and Tovar back. I think they've got a little bit of upside. I don't know. At least Doyle's going to play a good center field, and then I could trade him later. And Tovar, kind of the same thing. Like, he's going to play a good shortstop. He's got a high floor. He's already on a cheap deal. So let's see what they can do. Clemens and Palacios, so we had to swerve for second base because we couldn't land either of the guys that I wanted. So Palacios is going to play second base. He's a go-to for me. Nothing really to offer on the bench, just random guys that are not very good. Pitching rotation, so some interesting things in here. Tanner Houck, I actually decided to give him a 5-year deal for $4 million. I think he's about as good as I'm going to be able to do with some of the pitchers. So he's our ace, and that's kind of concerning. Ronel Blanco coming in here, reliever turned starter. He's got P potential. He's only 70 overall. We'll see what he can do. Quantrill, Walter, and Feltner is coming back, who actually had a very good year last year with a 3.84. Whip is concerning, so he definitely got a little lucky, but we'll give him a shot. If not, I can flip things around. Bunch of random stuff in the bullpen, Rule 5 pickups. Senzatella is so good that I just didn't want to trade him, even though it's $10 million a year. He's like one of the best pitchers that we have, pitch for pitch. And then my closer is going to be the human glitch, Jimmy Herget, who also was asking for quite a bit of money, $6.2 million. And I gave him a 2-year deal to try to shut the door for us. So that is what I'm working with. I want to show you the budget as well real quick. So I've still got more available. We're at 169, and we should win a lot more now, so I can get some more money. This will probably be the last year for Moniak, and obviously Senzatella, so that'll clear some things up. Yeah, I think that's really all you need to know on the budget side. We do have some very promising prospects now. So Evan Gallagher, our first rounder from last year, will be starting in single A just because I want him to improve without games affecting it at all. Just give him that like 4 or 5 overall bump before he starts playing. But keep your eyes on him. Traded for some guys like Lombard Jr. and Hoyt Gomez, who should take over first base or DH within the next couple of years. And there's just some talent in here. Spencer Jones is also in Double A for now. So keep your eyes on some of these guys. I mean, there's a few promising players in here, both power-wise and just like generally good players. So yeah, we'll get season 2 underway here. Opening day, Tanner Houck versus Logan Webb and the Giants, and we lose 4-2. And it looks like Herget got the loss. Well, maybe not. Hang on a second. No, Senzatella. I don't know who got the loss here. I'm not sure why I can't find it, but actually Tanner Houck pitched pretty well. 6 1/3, 2 earned runs, so hey, we'll take it. Season 2 underway. Before we get fully into this season here, I just found Garrett Clevenger on the waiver wire. Very good left-handed relief pitcher here, and I'm going to scoop him up. $3 million, $3.5 million a year. I'm going to put a claim on him on the last opportunity to do that, and we'll see if we can get him.
Look, they had a Rookie of the Year. MVP, the White Sox. We're going to get one too. I don't know if Brodie's even going to have Condon up at this point. I'd be curious what he's got, because I didn't think Condon was going to be ready by year 2, but apparently he is. I don't know if I've ever seen a rookie have that hot of a start. 13 home runs and a 4.14 average in his first month. The Marlins offered me a trade deal for Kyle Stowers. Look, I'm going to get off of the Kyle Freeland money, and I'm going to get Kyle Stowers in the deal. Yeah, we're taking that. Now, that does give me 2 righty platoons now, Moniak and Stowers. So we're going to, at some point, need to get a lefty platoon somewhere. Because, yeah, the lineup against lefties is pretty bad. We got Kyle Karros and Blake Perkins and Ryan Ritter in the lineup. And I went out and got Jamison Tyone. He was still sitting in free agency. He pitched to a good 3.37 last year. So if I can get a 4 ERA out of him, maybe that'll be good enough.
We're still a ways away from the deadline, but I made a trade already, and I'll show you why in a second. I wanted Isaac Paredes, very good hitter, having an excellent year with a 913 OPS, getting on base almost 370 clip here, and I traded one of the best prospects in the league. 9th ranked prospect Reggie Drew from the last class here, and then Troy Johnston because they wanted a young first base. Well, he's not young, but young in the league first baseman. And the reason I did this is because my team is bad. We are 6 games under 500, and the main issue here is run scoring. We are currently, well, we've gotten a little better, but we're middle of the league in runs scored, and I needed to help us out with a well-rounded hitter. I guess Paredes, his runs are already counting here, so it was worse before then, but I needed to shake things up a little bit here. I think we're in win now mode at all times in this video, and it was not working out with some of the guys that, it always messes with my lineup, even when I don't want to. But the Cody Clemens experiment was not working. So we're going to move things around here. I'll fix this up. And yeah, we're going to shake things up. And hopefully this can help us get some more wins.
I don't really know if we're going to draft any guys at this point that are going to make this team, but if we are able to get Mark Gilchrist, who is ranked 33rd in the major leagues, but number 1 for us, that's our future first baseman. Now, there's a couple other guys. I think Blair Tejera could possibly be somebody, but really, we're going all out. We need Mark Gilchrist. 1 pick away. Come on, Atlanta. You already got Matt Olson. You don't need Mark Gilchrist. I mean, we're hoping that this guy is generational, but please don't take him. There we go. Mark Gilchrist, welcome to Colorado. So he wasn't as good as we thought. He was the number 1 ranked guy for us on our board, but 92 potential, 63 overall with a good bat, might make the roster by year 5. But what I'm excited about is Ken Ayala, 97 potential. Colt Welch, 93 potential. Great trade pieces. So if Gilchrist, which he could make the lineup, he's got a good bat, doesn't make it, we still have trade pieces to make, which honestly, this team is stacked now.
The team still isn't really playing that great, but the good news is my year 2 draft board is awesome. I have so many cool picks here. First round, I want to get Kevin Arellano here, who's an 18-year-old player that has a high overall and could have high B potential, maybe A if we're lucky. Third base and left fielder with elite contact and power. Ranked 4th in the class, so he looks really cool. Check out Alan England, Discovery college player, again a high overall, and just look at the stats here. Insane contact and defense at shortstop, no power. So I don't know if he's gonna play for our team, but he might be so good that he has to, even if he's not a great home run hitter, especially considering our current shortstop situation with Tovar. So those guys are awesome. I want both of them. Lewis Ellis is a great play as well. If he could fall to the 2nd round, he went from 55th to 8th. Outfielder here, center fielder who looks really good. And the good news is I have a bunch of late round options as well. Maybe it's a little easier to see it from here. So we've got Gomez Medrano, who started as non-ranked and is now 38th, so he should stick around a while. Johnny Montgomery here, Jeff Burden, same thing, started as non-ranked. I've got an older second baseman here in Michael Guerrero, and I think that's it. Okay, Ramirez also started as non-ranked. So I've got a deep board, and the top of my board is great. Kevin Arellano is who I want, and then hopefully England can fall to the 2nd round, but I just feel like more and more often these days, the good Discovery players get taken. So let's see what happens here. Will Strawberry is the number 1 overall pick. Did not scout him. Number 2 pick is Kevin Arellano. You've got to be kidding me. My Tampa Bay Rays. This was the coolest guy for sure. And that really stinks. And now it's like, do I take Ellis or do I take England? And it's a tough call because England doesn't help our home run challenge. He might help us win, which is also important. Ellis there's a chance he could fall to that 2nd round, which makes me, and I have good late round options, which makes me want to take Alan England because this profile is fascinating. And it's almost so good that I wonder if my scout got it wrong. But I don't want to lose this guy, and he just looks so cool. So I'm going Alan England. He was Discovery, but let's do it. Let's do it. He looks jacked. This guy is jacked up and excited to be a Rocky. So we'll see what happens. So simulating ahead, we want everybody to stay as long as possible, especially Ellis, who's my 2nd round target. Power hitting center fielder here. So simulating to our next pick, and of course, he is gone. Where did he go here? Some of these guys go really early. Yeah, 17th pick. So we're not going to get Ellis. And let me think about what I want to do here in round 2. Didn't take me much thinking. There's really one clear choice, and that's Andres Gomez, who moved from 99th up to 11th. And he's got a little bit of pop, but he'll most likely be a trade piece. This is the potential part of the plan here. So pick 44, I'm going 3rd baseman. Andres Gomez with a lot of beard at 18 years old. That is impressive. And now let's simulate ahead. Can my board stay together? It can. I'm feeling confident that really all of these guys should stick around to the end. Medrano is my favorite. I know he's going to be a low overall, but I don't need to take him just yet. So we'll take Montgomery now, just because he was initially ranked, and I should be able to just run through these guys pretty quickly. I doubt the CPU will take anybody. There we go. So let's just... Guerrero should stay. So let me just take Medrano here, because I think he could have 99 potential, honestly. So simulating ahead again, we're still good. Burden was not ranked, so we'll wait on him. And Guerrero was ranked, so we'll take Guerrero. He was 21 years old. He could actually have 99 potential as well. I told you my board is really good this year. Simulating ahead again. My guys are still here. Ramirez and Burden. We'll just take them in that order. We're going Jeff Burden, second to last pick, and final pick of draft 2, catcher Eduardo Ramirez, who should also have hopefully a potential. I think we rocked him. I cannot wait to see how this draft went. So All-Star break update, 3 games under 500. Just can't seem to break through there in year 2. Obviously a big improvement from the first year. And taking a look at our All-Stars here, flipping through, we've got third base Isak Paredes. I don't think I can really take credit for that, or the Rockies at least. But yeah, he's been good. He's our best hitter right now. Overall, we'll take a look at the whole squad here in a sec. That looks like it's all my All-Stars. Nobody on the pitching side. So when we look at our stats, right, going over to the player stats, we can start with home runs. So there's a lot more guys that are going to get over 20 or even 30 home runs this year. So we're heading in the right direction power-wise. Goodman with 21 has been very good. Santander, potential up to A. So this is huge for us. I could probably even get him in the outfield if I need to, especially if Hoyt Gomez comes up to play first base at some point, which he probably will. Paredes, I might keep him, depending on what he does. Arozarena, the signing's been good. Moniak, not quite as good this year. So, what are you going to do? And then the guy that's really been an issue is Brent Rooker. Had high hopes that he would improve. He's not improved, and his potential's gone down. So you get Santander going up, you get Rooker going down, and we've got him for a while, so I probably will let it ride out if he continues to fit in the team. If we take a look at OPS, similar here. So quite a few guys above 800. We've actually got some nice offensive pieces. And then what's holding us back, of course, is Doyle and Tovar. But I brought them back just because they're more well-rounded, right? They play a little bit of defense. Hopefully they can help us win. But they cannot hit for shit. So kind of an issue there. Pitching-wise, check this out. Tanner Houck, sub-3 ERA, improving nicely. Showed you before that I signed him for the rest of the rebuild here. So that's great. Clevenger has been awesome, picking him up off waivers, which was good. And there's some good stuff in here, but there's just some bad stuff too. Like Thornton and Quantrill, not going well at all. And I don't really have anybody I can replace him with. The pitching's thin here in the challenge we've got going, which is fun. So that's where we stand. I'll show you the home runs as well. Just as far as team rankings, we have improved in that department quite a bit. We are sitting at 15th. 125. We're almost at our total, I think, of 141 from last year, and we are at the All-Star break. So we'll see how we finish out this year. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs, but check out the draft picks and then just try to keep pushing forward. We've got some lofty goals to reach, and slowly we'll take steps in the right direction. Seriously? Come on, Giants. You signed Chisholm so that I can't, and then you trade him in the first year of the deal? He's not really playing that great, so maybe it'll work out for the best for us, but what the hell? That's a slap in the face right there. Blockbuster trade here. I traded Moniak. I don't know. I couldn't see myself keeping him the whole time. I know he looks pretty good. He's got the power, but this was his last year, and we could always maybe sign him again in free agency if I change my mind. But since we're in the basement, I traded him to the Dodgers, and I wanted Alex Freeland coming back, who I think could be a good bench piece and maybe gets that power up in the mid 60s or 70s to where he could contribute on that side, but he can also help us win. He can play all the infield positions besides first base. Looks good. He's going to be inexpensive for a while, which is also huge for me. I had to take some of their money to make this work, so I took Jake Bowers just to play the outfield for us for the rest of the year, which I think is pretty good. So, yep, another big deal, and hopefully it works out and was the right move. Nothing's changed here. In a week, we're still bad, 8 games under 500, but we get to look at our draft picks, and I'm very excited about this. I think this is going to be a great draft. Super interested in Alan England, so let's see how we did here, and looking pretty good. I mean, green everywhere. Highest potential, 97 for Guerrero. We'll come back to him. So Alan England, 73 overall with 87 potential, no power at all. Definitely a trade candidate, but also tempting to let him play. So I don't know. The contact is unbelievable. If we didn't have the power challenge, this would be a really cool pick for us. and I'll just see what he does in the minors. Let's see what he does. If I need to trade him at some point, that's fine. Andres Gomez is disappointing. He's got pop, but 88 potential is definitely lower than I thought. I expected more from him. 91 for Montgomery, 92 for Medrano, who does look pretty cool. And then we had 97 for Guerrero. So our best pick here, lots of value, and a couple other high potential guys as well. Who was that player that I really wanted in the first round? I'm forgetting his name, but let me flip through here. Okay, it was Ariano. So here he is. So this guy could have played for the team. He cannot defend, but maybe I could have put him in left. He's going to have some good power. Go into my Tampa Bay Rays. So that's what we missed out on, but overall, another good draft. I've depleted the prospect pool quite a bit already from the last one, so I need all of these guys to help us get deals over the line. And yeah, I think that's about all we need to see here in a disappointing second year. So let's just sim to the end of it and try to cook up again in the offseason.
I think we're in position. I think this is a playoff team. We're not going to make any more acquisitions because we're honestly, offensively, doing great. It's just a question of whether or not the defense can match up. Now, our average is a little bit lower than I'd like, but our slugging is pretty high. We're really just competing with the Dodgers at this point, so there's really not much better than you can get than that. And we got a couple All-Stars. We got Brennan Bernardino. He took the closer role. I actually had Tyler Gilbert there, but Gilbert got hurt, so I moved Bernardino there, and he's been phenomenal since he got there. Goodman's our starting catcher in the NL. And then we also have a few more. We have O'Neal Cruz with his 26 home runs at the break, leading the way as the center field starter. And Charlie Condon did slow down, but 22 home runs right now puts him, I mean, he's pretty much a lock for Rookie of the Year. What is happening? Why am I able to get these deals to happen? We have Brent Rooker now as well. He was my lefty platoon idea. I didn't think it was going to work. They asked for Blake Perkins. I sent a counteroffer for Brent Rooker, and they said yes. With 1 month left to play, we're 6 games behind the Dodgers, and it looks like we're at 243 home runs. However, something we have to do, and we have to, subtract, is I think this counts even the guys that you've acquired in trades. So the 16 home runs that Stowers had before we acquired him, and the 20 home runs that Rooker had before we acquired him, we're going to have to remove. What would actually put us at 207. So we're 100 home runs away in the last month. It's not going to happen this year, but maybe next year.
Before this season is over and I lose the stats for our prospects, need to look at a couple of guys. So Hoy Gomez was absolutely destroying it in AA. So I brought him to AAA and obviously improved quite a bit throughout this year, but unfortunately did not play as well in AAA. So we'll start him there again next year and see what he can do. Couple other guys here. So Lombard was in AAA, improved up 3 overall. He might be something for us someday. Also Ethan Holiday, great year in AA. So he's moving along nicely. Wait, I have 6 left fielders in the MLB? Okay. Did not notice that. Also forgot about Bouchang here. Might trade him at some point. Spencer Jones, so he went from 73 to 75 overall, improved the contact and discipline. We'll see what comes out of that. And then our first rounder from last year, Evan Gallagher. So I had him in A-ball just to get that 1 year of improvement. And yeah, he improved. So he'll be starting his pro career next season. And we've got our eyes on him to be on the Major League roster by year 4 or 5 of the video to check that off of the challenge. And hopefully he can help hit some home runs against lefties especially, which is useful. So wanted to do that before we finish out the year. Might as well just sim to the end of it while we're right here. And we had 78 wins. So 6 games below 500. Not getting good as quickly as I was hoping. And I need to have a good offseason. So we'll check in on the home runs, break this down, see how we did. We ended up with 222 in 12th, which is good. That is a big step in the right direction. Offensively, in terms of runs scored here, where did we finish? Where did we finish that off? So 12th in runs scored. That was good. The issue must be on the pitching side of things. So flipping over to our ERA, where did we land here? 20th in ERA. What happened to Tanner Houck? What happened to Tanner Houck? Oh my goodness. He was looking good. What happened? He finished with a 4.6 ERA. Oh man. Well, we need him to turn that around big time. He is going to be a future piece of this team. Good signs here with Blanco. That's a good year. How old is he? 33. Maybe I can get one more season out of him. Clevenger was excellent, but we're going to lose him. Unless I bring him back for a year. Well, I guess I can't really do that. Too late for that. So, yeah. I don't know. Houck is the really disappointing thing here. Back to the offensive side of things. So the homers, we had 4 guys above 30 homers. Goodman, Paredes, Arozarena, and Santander. I think I might bring Paredes back in this offseason to play third. He just looks really good. And he also gets on base, which is key as we're trying to hit the home runs. Great year from Arozarena. We've got him for another season. We've got Santander for a couple more years. Massive improvement for him offensively. So this is good. Rooker did turn things around a little bit. So probably run it back with him. We'll see. Clemens actually got 17. Doyle got 15. Not too bad out there in center field. But a couple guys are definitely going to have to go. Especially Tovar. Tovar, we're going to have to figure something out at short because this really did not work out. So that's kind of where we finished for season 2. Like I said in the last clip here, we need a big offseason.
96 and 66, we make the postseason. We're a wild card team. Take it on the Mets. Condon wins Rookie of the Year for us, and yeah, Juan Soto is off the table. The Mets are a playoff team, and he hit 60 home runs. Man, he'd be such a great acquisition for this. I wonder if Brodie's going to go after him, or if he go after like Yordan Alvarez too, because that's another great acquisition. Who hit 62 home runs and won the MVP on that side. So we can't touch either of them. Good thing we don't really need to. Cy Young goes to Glass now. So we don't really have anything else. We just have our rookie and fantastic year for Condon. My God, 35 home runs, 90 RBIs. O'Neal Cruz leads in stolen bases. Yeah, I mean, we probably have a really, really good ending season here. Look, Goodman 46 home runs, Devers 46. So the power is there. Cruz had a 40-40 season. That's awesome. 40-50 season, actually. Technically 40 home runs and 50 stolen bases. It's dude, that's so good. That was such a like random pickup too. Like we just gave up Tyler Freeman for that. 5 WAR. Condon's hurt at the moment, but still really, really good. 924 OPS for the rookie, 2.9 WAR. Had him mainly play third base this year because we don't have a third baseman. Bench was pretty good. Rooker, 25 home runs. So we got 5 with us. Run field, 9 home runs. Ritter, 3 home runs, 312 average. 29 homers from Julian, 31 from Moniak. McCarthy will probably be the odd man out here. Only 11 home runs isn't really good, but he had 20 last season. Just a down year there. 46 for Hunter Goodman, 40 from Cruz, 5 from him, 28 from Stowers, 46 from Devers, and 17 from Adames, who's awful, but his potential went up. Okay, all right. And you know what? We got a 3.61 out of Tanner Houck. Chase Dollander getting that ERA down. He's an 88. He's down to a 4.8. That's still awful, but we're really only shooting for like a 4.2. That's a good enough season for me. Wow. Okay. Bernardino got sent down, right? So Bernardino was our best bullpen arm. 3.65, 31 saves. So we made the playoffs in year 2, which is awesome. We're the 4 seed, which is pretty good at 96 wins. I mean, that's the best team of the wild card teams available. And we have to take on the Mets, who are, another wild card team. So we're not worried about that. Okay, what do we got? We have no pitching. And we don't have Condon. Houck versus McLean in game 1. Condon is back, but I think I'm going to keep him on the bench just for this one. For Dollander versus McGill in game 2. We advance. We're taking on the Dodgers. So game 1 against the Dodgers to go on to the NLCS, if we're able to do so, is going to be Shohei Ohtani versus Jose Barrios. Now, it's mainly our offense that matters, not any of our pitching. So, can we get enough offense? We had 10 runs in the first 2 games. There's another 9. That's going to take down Shohei as Bernardino gets the win on Evan Phillips. Feltner versus Yamamoto in game 2 in LA. 10 runs. We have 19 runs in this series. All right, Luis Seal had a 7 ERA this season. So just give me 2 innings without giving up runs. He probably did, actually. He probably did. But in Colorado, Houck versus Ohtani. Guys, 4 runs is enough. We need 5. We need 5 runs. Come on, Dollander. You're here. It's all your team. It's not enough. All right. Well, we get eliminated, but hey, we push the Dodgers 5. And the Yankees defeat the Cardinals. And with 1 year left of the Chris Bryant contract, now we got money. So we could go out and get some guys this year. We don't need to. We literally have zero need to. So we're really not doing anything again this year. Now, I might throw some guys in this range that I think might be available on that last day, if there's anybody interesting. But I don't think I'm going to do much. It's just Rule 5 and waivers and see what's available for us to try to, fill up our rotation for this last year, or not last year, but for this year. I'm going to guess that Brodie's going to have the far more interesting offseason than me.
I'm getting naughty ideas here with this trade block. Obviously, there's a guy by the name of Yordan Alvarez, who is my favorite and the best hitter in the game right here. However, he's going to be a free agent next year, and he has to DH, and I want to give Rooker another chance. So I want to try to get Yordan in free agency next year. But we have Byron Buxton on the board, who could come and play center field for 1 season. Okay, so big trade right there. And then the other guy here is O'Neal Cruz. Now, I don't want to trade for him yet, but what this means is he's also going to be a free agent next year to play center field. I think they probably give him a little more credit defensively than he deserves. But anyway, so what's coming together here, right? We trade for Buxton this offseason to play center field, 34 homer bat out there in center field. And then we go after Yordan and O'Neal Cruz to replace Buxton in the next offseason. So 2 huge free agents that we'll need to get next offseason. So we need to play well this year so that I can get those guys. So I'm going to make a trade for Buxton. And then in free agency, one main guy that I targeted so far is Paredes. So I actually offered him a deal in exclusive free agency that he did not accept. But I think he could be our third baseman for the rest of the rebuild here. 33 home runs last year, combined with a 350 on base. I think he put up, 6 WAR. So I'm willing to give him a lot of money. And he's my main target. And we'll see how things come together this offseason. But I'm starting to formulate a longer-term plan. Well, look whose potential's gone up to A here. Charlie Condon. I don't know if he's going to debut next year, but he might be a long-term power-hitting piece of this franchise. The Twins just raked me over the coals for Buxton. This is literally like my 6th attempt to get this across the line for 1 year of Buxton, and finally got it done. Lombard right back out the door. Heading to the Twins here. We gave him Burden, who's low overall but has extremely high potential. He's now their number 2 prospect, so they'll just have to wait there. Guerrero, similar kind of thing. He's their number 3 prospect, another top 100 prospect. And then Boshang, who's got elite contact. This guy's really cool. So I gave them all those guys for it. And let's see here. Okay, that's not for me. So first big deal going down. I've got some other ones already cooking, so I'll see you soon for those. And we've got a contract decision here for my one big free agent target, Paredes, and he is coming back for the rest of my Rockies rebuild here. 5 years, I overpaid him. $20 million, was not going to risk losing him. He's going to be a cornerstone piece of the team. Meanwhile, our guy Moniak getting a nice payday here, headed to the Orioles. So we'll see what he does over there. Keep our eyes on him. So 31 home runs and then 25 home runs. I mean, he's got 40 home run potential, but I don't know. I didn't feel like he was the right fit for us. So we'll see how he does in Baltimore. New plan at shortstop. Tovar is out. Defense is awesome. Just was not cutting it offensively for us. So we're going to trade him to the Red Sox along with some prospects for Marcelo Meyer. I'm going to put Meyer at shortstop this year, and we'll see what he can do. We've got some talent on the way up, so, we'll just give him a shot. I think he's got 25 home run potential here, 22 last year in 130 games. Maybe he could get to 30, which is what we're looking for. So big trade there, and then this one is rejected. I'm trying to get Doyle out of here as well. I kind of like this deal with the Brewers. I might try it again. But that's where we're at, shaking things up here. Royals countered my trade here for Vinny Pasquantino, and I offered them Townsend and another prospect. So yet again, they're asking for less. So I am going to accept this. I need 1 more year of a first baseman before our prospect comes up. So Vinny P is going to be our first baseman this upcoming season. Didn't really love the Rule 5 as much this time, but still grabbed a few guys. We got Xavier Curry here for the pen. All pitchers again, of course. Danny Young, gonna give him a shot. Lefty, reminds me a little bit of Clevenger. who we had last year. We'll see what he can do. And then my first rounder was Johnny Brito, another relief pitcher. So I don't know. I'm going to have to cook on that last day of free agency and keep checking waivers here to find some more, especially starters. We are going to need some better starters. Okay, this is a big day here. Final day of free agency to sign pitchers. And I saved about $60 million of budget left in order to do this because I need 3 starters. So I've got to look through here and find 3 guys that I believe in that can at least be MLB average. And then we let the offense carry things, and that'll be the plan. All right, should be getting some decisions here. Reynaldo Lopez was the best bet available for me 1 year for Lopez. And then Jordan Hicks, who's got 40 stamina, I went 3 years. And I'm going to plan for him or somebody to be an opener. And then I went 2 years for Littell. We're going to risk it. And 2 years, $6.66 million. So Littell, I'll just show you real quick. Why I say it's a risk is because he has great control, but everything else is pretty bad. And he also did not pitch last year. But the year he did pitch in this simulation, 3.5 ERA. So he obviously limits the walks. That's what he's known for. That's what he does. So we'll see. I'm worried about the pitching, but at least we got some guys in here who might be decent, and we'll take a look at the whole staff here in a minute.
Your 3 pitching staff has Jeffrey Springs, as well as Evan Phillips, 2 guys that I was able to sign in the waiver pickups, kind of that last like free agency kind of spring training time. But I'm really excited for the lineup this year. I do think that while Jake McCarthy is kind of the weak link here for power, I think this is our chance to get 307. Now, we obviously are going to keep this team together for as long as possible, but 307, I think, is in reach with this roster.
All right, so it's opening day for Season 3, 2028, and we'll be taking on Logan Gilbert and the White Sox here. Yes, you heard that right. They might be putting something together over there in Chicago. Let's take a look at the team. So we'll start with the rotation. Reynaldo Lopez coming in on that last day of free agency to be our ace, and he had a nice year last year. 3.98 ERA, 3.70 the year before. Both of those are solid. Anything under 4, I'm pretty happy with. With our rotation, our bullpen. Tanner Houck, can he keep it together for a full season? That's the question. Can he do it for the full year? Got off to that hot start and then fell apart. Feel really good about Ronel Blanco. Hopefully he can not regress on me, but he was honestly fantastic as a starter last year. 3.5 ERA. And then Littell, I talked about him already. He'll be our 4. And then I don't know if the opener, prevents guys from going as deep as they can into games. I haven't tested that yet. So I've got Jordan Hicks as our opener, basically, but I want him to go like 3 innings. So I just put him in there, in the rotation, and then we'll turn it over to either Brito, or Grove. One of these 2 guys can then pick it up from there, and then pass it to the bullpen. So that's what my thoughts are. Pearson Ole's going to come up this year with a nice control, just well-rounded. He was in our farm system. And then I've got Danny Young coming in for lefty setup role. Juan Mejia's back for righty setup role. And then the human glitch last year for Jimmy Herget. Unless I sign him for another year, we'll see. But potentially last year for him as our closer. He was 31-8 last season. So not that great, but I know what he's capable of. When he had a sub-1 whip and a 2 ERA the year before, 2026. So that's why he's there. We'll see what the staff can do. If they're MLB average, then that's good. Lineup is going to be a lot better than MLB average. This is a good-ass team right here from top to bottom. Paredes coming back to lead off because of that discipline, contact, power. Really good. Arozarena, who was excellent last year in the 2. Then you go Santander, Goodman, who I did not give a long-term extension to, but let's see if he can follow up last season and go from there. So he had 34 homers last year and an 832 OPS, as well as 4.8 WAR. So he's definitely looking for an extension. Buxton, the huge move in the offseason. Like I said, the Twins really got a lot out of our farm system for that. So we'll see what he can do. He's our highest overall player by quite a bit. Brent Rooker, need more from him. Stats look good enough to be, a solid power hitter, a 30 homer bat. Vinny P for 1 season, while we wait for our prospect, who I'll touch on in a second at first. Freeland is going to play second base. I like him. I think maybe 18 to 20 homers, but really I just think he's a good player. So we'll rock with him there. And then Marcelo Meyer. So a new shortstop's in town. Talked about him already. And that is our squad. I also shook things up on the bench a little bit. Cole Carrick has that catcher secondary. So I've got him in that position. And then we have 2 utility guys. So Palacios coming back. And then Brett Wisely, who I signed for 3 years because he can play every position with good defense. And also looks like he can hit a little bit and has some clutch to pinch hit off the bench. And then Jordan Beck coming back. So that is the squad. And I need to spend a second on some of our prospects here. So Evan Gallagher, remember, this is our guy for later on, our drafted player to join the team with 97 potential, I think. He's getting into AA. So we've got our eyes on him. Charlie Condon is going to come up next year to replace Randy Arozarena. That is my plan. I don't want him to just sit on the bench. I want him to play full time. So hopefully he keeps that A potential and has a nice year in AAA. What else we got here? Ethan Holiday. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to impact us too much in this video. And then Hoyt Gomez. So this is our first baseman that is going to take over after this year of Vinny P. So I'm working on his defense so that's not absolutely terrible. And then offensively, he's awesome. I think he has 87 or 88 potential. So that's the main guys. Spencer Jones, I had to put him in AAA again as well. I just didn't have a spot for him with how I set things up. So again, I just hope that doesn't make him lose his potential and that he can continue to develop and be a part of the team next year. I think that's about it. A lot of the best prospects I have traded, but we still have a couple to work with, like Chad Medrano, who is the number 7 prospect in the league. Andres Gomez, who is the number 25 in the league. And then we also have our guy, Alan England, who I don't know. I'm tempted to let this guy play. He just can't hit home runs. So maybe if we can break that record, then I'll focus on getting him up there because I thought he was a pretty cool pick. So sorry if I ran on a little long there. A lot of effort going into building the squad this year. And I'm just hoping that we can make the playoffs because this is not a $80 million White Sox team. Or sorry, $80 million Rockies team. This is an expensive Rockies team right here.
Looks like we're going to lose our starting pitcher, Jeffrey Springs, for the rest of the season due to a head fracture. Ow. That's the end of his career. That sucks, dude. He was also doing pretty good, 3-3 with the 104. It's early in the season, but oh, that sucks. Nothing like having Edward Julian second in the MVP race at the end of the first month. And it looks like it's our time as we are now taking the lead against the Dodgers in our division on a 10-game win streak. And we have the MVP leader in Hunter Goodman. Can we turn this 10 games into 11? Nope, no, we cannot.
All right, I got to hit an update here just a month into the year because this team is finally hitting its stride. 23-9, we're in first place. And if we take a look at some of our rankings here, number 1 in runs, okay? Number 2 in home runs to the Yankees, who have a couple players, Judge and Rice, that I would love to be able to get at some point, but they're always untouchable. So now go into our ERA, and we are 4th. So things are coming together. Reynaldo Lopez, 5 ERA, not great, but some other guys are pitching very nicely, especially in the pen. And here, let me just take a look. Actually, I haven't looked at all the starters and stuff yet. So, okay, so yeah, the pen, like I was saying, really good. Littell, 3, 4, 5. Hicks in that starting role, that's working. Tanner Herget kind of struggling, and Jimmy Herget struggling. Tanner Houck, what's going on here, bud? He needs to turn this around.
Last draft, I think I'm going to show Mark Enriquez is a generational talent. Don't think he'll be available to us because we made the playoffs last year, but if he was, that would be awesome. He's probably going to pick 1. Otherwise, we're looking at Antone Reyes as a catcher, just a possible backup catcher for Hunter Goodman, and then Fernando Almanzar just because he's got an all-around stat block. So if we aren't able to get one of the top 2, we'll go for Almanzar. Literally, I'm probably just going to show the first pick because that's the only guy who might make the team by year 5. Enriquez goes 9th, so we're going to take Antone Reyes here. I have pick 32 as well, so I think we'll also get Almanzar, so we're going to get both of them. There is a couple other interesting guys up on the board that I've scouted that I think could be interesting players, but we are in the boat of we need to hit big. That's really the only option. Otherwise, nobody else makes the team. So, Antone Reyes, you might be a backup catcher. Neither of these guys are going to end up being good enough to make the roster, but I still think they're great pieces, and I think we drafted pretty well to say for that last year that we're really focusing on drafting. I mean, we got a 98, 94. Basically, this gives me enough guys in the farm system that if I need to go and acquire somebody, which we don't really have to, I can.
So I've got a few fun options in the draft here. We found a great mid-round gem, Jason Reyes, who went from 71st to 4th in the class. Either going to be my first rounder or second rounder. First round, I really do want Jude Law. Great contact, more so just the potential and the value here. First base and right field looks pretty cool. And then we've got some mid-round gems here as well. Richard Shaw, Michael Bike, not trying to pronounce it. And then John Elmore. And then just a couple of later guys too. So the board is strong enough to get me to the end as long as we don't get completely screwed, which happens to me more than I would like to admit. But let's just get it started. I didn't have a lottery pick this year. We're at 12. So we'll see what happens when we get there. So Lamar and Reyes survived the first 3 picks. Are they going to survive down to number 12? Reyes did not. He gets taken 4th overall. This happens just too much. It happens too much nowadays. I can't get these guys that I want. Everybody else, managed to stick around, which is good. But yeah, we're going to go with Jude Lamar, which I'm still happy with that. I do think he's a good player. So that'll be my first rounder here in season 3. Need to replenish here, and let's see how we did. And overall, last pick, not very good. Overall, good. Jude Lamar the contact is unbelievable. Switch hitting, first baseman and right fielder. Definitely would be a cool prospect. But we're probably going to need to trade him. Terrence Gary, nothing too special. Britton, looking good. 55 overall, 90 potential. The potential's solid here. This is why I wanted Art Milligan. I mentioned that. I wanted him to fall. Really solid catcher prospect. Should be pretty valuable. And yeah, this looks good. This should be enough to trade from here going into next season if we need it. The team's honestly gotten a lot better really quickly. So we're a little more turnkey at this point as I just flip through. Oh, wow. Nice draft from the Guardians. So just flip through here to see what was going on in the first round. Buster Ritter. Was this the guy that I wanted? I can't remember who it was. No, Reyes? I think it was Reyes. Yes, it was Reyes. 97 potential. So, what are you going to do?
At the All-Star break, we are 3 games up on the Dodgers, 62-34, with a fantastic 514 slugging percentage, by the way. Insane offense. Terrible pitching. Somehow we're not even that much worse than the Dodgers, though. And we are 100% on pace for this 207 at the All-Star break. So I think we just need 100 more home runs in 2.5 months of play. Goodman's at 33. Devers is at 33. Julian's at 28. Yeah, we got this in the bag. We have 3 All-Stars. Hunter Goodman at catcher. He is still leading the MVP race. Rafael Devers at first base. He is second in the MVP race. And Mickey Moniak, who is not in the MVP race, but has 25 home runs.
So it's September call-ups, and I got a couple things here. Cade Gibson was on the waiver wire, and I think he could be useful. He's a lefty with good clutch, pretty nice stats, so I'm going to claim him. That's one thing I wanted to go over. Also, for September call-ups, I went ahead and brought up Charlie Condon, who is having another excellent year in the minors. So I've got him up here. He's going to be on the bench, though, because really the entire squad is hitting well. Even Brent Rooker's got himself 25 home runs this year. I can't take Alex Freeland out of the lineup. He's the best we've got for shortstop right now. I actually moved Marcelo Meyer over to second base, and he's been really good, too. You can see our lineup's cold. We had a slow month of August, which knocked us out of first place. Now, we're definitely going to make the postseason, but I'd love to win the division as well. One other thing to show you here is our home runs. We are at 250. We're still in second place, but at 250, with an insane final month of the year, there is a chance that we could get this done. So let me finish the September call-ups, and I'll jump back in here as we get closer to the end of the year.
And in the last month of the season, we're going to bring up Antoine Rubio and Ethan Holiday. Next year, we're going to let Jake McCarthy walk. I tried to trade him at the deadline, wasn't able to do so. I was going to just try to do like a player swap, give me somebody really, really good. I really wanted Byron Buxton, another expiring deal, because Antoine Rubio or Takahashi were going to come up next year anyways, as well as Holiday. So I'm fine with it just being him walking now. Maybe we'll get a pick out of it. I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me. But Takahashi's injured, so Rubio and Holiday are going to fill up to get to the 307, which we're easily going to hit. With a month left in the season, we're 16 away. We can do that in like 3 games.
288 is our current number here, and we've got 2 series left in the year. We're looking great. 91 and 65, obviously a big turnaround for us so far. One thing I want to show you also here, just kind of a note to keep in mind, our prospect, our first rounder from the first year, had a nice year in Double-A. His first year of professional ball, he went up 5 overall, so he is on track to join us in the next season or 2. But we are here to simulate the last couple of series here because we are steamrolling towards the end, and I don't know, we're going to need a lot of home runs if we're going to get it done. But we finish out the year either way, 94 and 68, and we'll be playing the Cubs in the first round. We actually are a wild card team. We were not able to take down those Diamondbacks. And our final number was 297, and we actually came in second behind the Yankees. They got close. They got close to 308, and we got close too. And Buxton was a huge part of that with 41. So I may need to re-sign him because he actually did not regress at all. Let me show you the team here, which was very good this year. Buxton especially was excellent. Condon, by the way, coming up, had a couple of home runs and had a 1.2 OPS, so he'll be taking over a Rosarena spot next year for sure. So Buxton, what a trade. I mean, he's still getting better. So I think we've got to sign him just for the rest of the rebuild here at age 34. So he might start to regress, but where else are you going to get 41 home runs in center field? I don't think anywhere. Santander continues to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just getting better and better. 42 home runs. And yeah, I mean, you can see it right here. Paredes, excellent. Goodman with 31. Rooker with 30. Even some of the guys that are a little less, notable for their power had 25 here. Freeland had 14, which is perfect. I think I said he would have maybe 18 in a good year, but I just really like him in the infield with his defense, and he can get a little bit of power. So we'll have to try to figure out how we're going to get those extra 10 home runs or so that we need, 15 home runs that we need, because this is a pretty good year, and that's where we ended up. So looking at the pitchers, similar things to what I said throughout the year. Some good stuff in the pen. Littell was great. Really good. I'm glad this worked out. He should be solid next year, hopefully. Who else? Lopez. Yeah, Lopez and Houck. They just, I don't know. They had a lot of innings. They did their job, kinda, but ERAs in the 4s is just not going to cut it, especially Houck being, who I thought was going to be our ace. Just gave up too many hits this year. But either way, we didn't have any awards, no league leaders, but either way, we make the playoffs for the first time. So let me set up the lineup here and the rotation, and we'll see if we can make a run. Juan Soto wins the MVP here. I don't know if we'd be able to trade for him, but I obviously would like to get the power because we need 15 more home runs, Maybe Marte or Carroll if the Diamondbacks are willing to give him up. Probably not. They're not going to be selling off there. In the American League, Alonso takes down Aaron Judge. Murakami. Maybe we could get Murakami. Ooh, I kind of forgot that was even an option. Cy Young's here. Not as interested in those, but in the NL, Logan Webb takes it. In the AL, Mitch Keller gets it. And what about Rookie of the Year? What's going on here? So Randy Martins. Didn't I have this guy on my board at some point? Maybe for the first draft. Now, second draft. I don't know. Maybe I even traded him. Name sounds familiar. In the NL, we've got Jacob Berry taking it here with some pop. See potential guy. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Figured I'd just, get a look at the league. Why is this guy here? Batting 176?
And that's 104 wins and the division, including a National League MVP for Hunter Goodman, who racks up 51 home runs, 127 ribbies, as Rafael Devers racks up 45 home runs to back him up as the runner-up in the MVP race. And look at those offensive stats. Hunter Goodman leading in runs, Goodman leading in RBIs, Julian leading in runs, Goodman in slugging percentage. And of course we did. We break the record by 31 home runs, 338 for your Colorado Rockies. Julian with 44, Moniak 37, 45 for Devers, 51 for Goodman, 34 for Cruz, 37 for Condon, 25 for Stowers, only 8 for McCarthy, 28 for Adames, nothing really, 5 from Karros on the bench, 16 from Rooker on the bench, and 7 from Ritter on the bench. That'll probably be replaced with Ethan Holiday next year, and McCarthy with Rubio or Takahashi. Yeah, this team ends up being just phenomenal offensively. You see Hunter Goodman with the MVP, 907 OPS, 8 WAR on the year. Just a phenomenal year for our starting catcher. As 998 fielding percentage too. That's going to be pretty close to a Gold Glove caliber season as well for our catcher. He's not going to get it, but what a crazy year. I think the one I'm impressed by is Julian. 44 home runs for our second baseman. That is a huge jump for him. Up to a 908 OPS, racking up 4.9 WAR. He's only a 76 overall. And finally, Dollander, not a bad season. 355 with a 126 whip with 176 strikeouts, racks up 3 WAR. We finally have a good pitcher. And honestly, Feltner was okay. Barrios wasn't too bad. Neal wasn't too bad. Houck was pretty good. These guys are free agents. We are going to lose them. Uriel was pretty good in the bullpen. These guys are pretty good right there in the bullpen. Vodnik was great. And Hunter Harvey, 51 saves. I think he was in the race for reliever of the year, even with a 2.92 ERA.
I mean, how sick is this lineup? This is such a good lineup to be going into the postseason with. Really one change from the bulk of the regular season. Condon is going to be on the playoff roster and hit against lefties because the stats look excellent. Excellent. So he's in there. And then our rotation, I didn't quite set this up yet, but I think Littell is going to have to be our ace, followed by Ronel Blanco, just based on how they did during the year, and then Houck and Lopez in there, and we'll move Hicks over into long relief as our primary long relief guy. Still same, high leverage situation going on here. I do need to put Waddell in setup role so we get a lefty in the setup role here, and we'll see what we can do. I mean, the pen was fine. It's just the rotation. Are we going to be able to compete? The lineup's going to have to carry us. Let's get started. First playoff run for my Rockies here. And we got the Rockies and the Cubs going up against Shota for game 1. Here we win 6-4. Going up against Trevor Rogers for game 2. Here we win, I think that was 6-1. And we'll be taking on the Diamondbacks. This is a revenge series. They defeated us in the regular season. Let's see what their lineup is looking like. They've got... I tried to trade for Aranda. I couldn't get him. I tried to trade for him. I didn't show you, but I couldn't get him. Corbin Carroll, Brennan Donovan, Ketel Marte. Absolutely disgusting. I wonder if we could get him this offseason. We'll see what we can do. Usually, it's hard to get the guys that are protected, Well, you can't. You can't get the guys that are protected, actually. They got Perdomo on the bench. So that gives you an idea of how good this team is. Can we take him down? I don't know. Tanner Houck versus Corbin Burns here for game 1, we lose. Renato Lopez and Giolito for game 2, we win. Coming home now. Littell, our ace, versus Bailey Ober, we lose. Ronel Blanco versus Ryan Nelson, we win, and we're going to a game 5 with Tanner Houck on the mound versus Corbin Burns. One chance, one shot here to move on, and we lose, and we are eliminated by the Diamondbacks in our first run. Well, at least we made it. At least we made it 13-2 in the final game here. That's not good. Houck got smoked. Absolutely smoked. Hicks got smoked. Yeah. Not great. Let's sim to the offseason. I bet you the Yankees are going to take this one. No, the White Sox, who we faced on opening day, defeat the Reds. You would make a lot of money with that bet in Vegas.
And so can we out-hit the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are the 4 seed? They also won like 90 games as well this year as we beat them out. 5-game series. We just need our offense to show because our pitching staff probably won't. Game 1, 4-3 victory. As Belozo gets the win, we get the runs late. Barrios in game 2 versus Yamamoto. We do lose that one. So going to LA, Feltner versus Glasnow. What a pitching matchup. Julian fractures his shin. So he is going to be out for 2 months. He's done. Can Gil get the victory? He cannot. We get blown out. Houck versus Ohtani in game 5 without Julian. It's enough. We're taking on the Brewers. Let me make sure my lineup is good for the NLCS. It's going to be Ryan Ritter needing to pick up the slack, so we're going to swap and put him near the bottom of the lineup for the rest of this. Or Stowers? No. All right, we'll do it that way. Stowers can play DH there. Yeah, this is going to be rough. I don't really have another replacement. Ryan Ritter is the only other second baseman we have on the roster. So against the Brewers, Yankees are taking on the White Sox in the ALCS. All right. I think Mizorowski won the Cy Young. So let's see what he's got. Dollander versus Mizorowski. Yeah, Mizorowski won the Cy Young. All right. Game 2, Harrison and Barrios. Our pitching staff has given up 19 runs before we go to Milwaukee. Feltner versus Priester. All right. You can only get so far. Oh my God. The Brewers. Offensively, what? The Brewers take down the White Sox in the 2028 World Series. So, 2 years to go. We don't need to shoot for 307 anymore. We already broke that record. We need to get one of our guys in the lineup. Rubio or Takahashi needs to get into the lineup for next season and the following. And really, now we're shooting for that World Series. So what are we going to be able to do to replace our pitching staff? I'll be curious to see if Brody got to the home run record. I feel like he's probably close to it as well at this point. I'm going to guess we're in a similar state, I guess. But the question of the pitching staffs are going to be so bad. Clearly, mine needs work. We're going to replace everybody outside of Dollander in this rotation.
Well, we could try to bring Buxton back during exclusive free agents here. He wants a very pretty penny. But there's good news. Going into next year, Chris Bryant's contract is off the books, which I think is like $25 million a year. And I'm going to sign Buxton for the last 2 seasons of the rebuild. We'll give him $40 million a year. He definitely deserves it after what he did last year, 7.4 WAR. I think that's pretty good. He might regress during this contract, but there's no better option in center field than Buxton. So we'll see if he accepts it. The rest of the guys I'm going to let go. Even Reynaldo, well, yeah, I think even Reynaldo Lopez had to do a double take there. And yeah, there you go. Chris Bryant finally off the books. We'll see if Buxton accepts it or not. He did not. So he is going to be a primary free agent target here. And yeah, 28% motivation? What? We just had a great season together. Okay. I don't know about that. Jordan is getting on the board. I talked about him already. So we've got big bucks going out the door here between these two guys. And I might not even be done yet. We might even want to sign a Gunnar Henderson. I don't know if we can afford all of that. Acuna, he's here too. So I could shake things up a little bit, but yeah, I've identified the main 2 targets I want here, Buxton and Jordan, and let's just hope we can get that competitive offer in. All right, Buxton, come on now. We want to make another run and finish out this dynasty. Hopefully we could build some kind of dynasty around you in center field, and there we go. We got the pen, so that is one target that I don't have to stress about anymore.
Well, we signed a big free agent. Gunnar Henderson, welcome to Colorado. I guess you're our DH? It was you or Jordan, and Jordan got signed instantly. The best part about it is, because of the money here, like, we're actually fine because we were able to let the Chris Bryant contract come up. Like, he only cost $8 million more than what we were paying Chris Bryant, so we didn't really lose money out of that. McCarthy walks, and we get Gunnar. That's basically an equivalent money exchange. Actually, I think we saved money because McCarthy was $12 million and Bryant was... So yeah, we saved money on that deal somehow.
And it worked out my way. Jordan is still on the board all the way to week 5 here with lots of competition, with a couple of heavy hitters too, especially the Dodgers. So we are just going to overpay him like crazy. I don't care how long it is. We'll go... What do we go to? Is 38 too much? Nah, we can afford it. We're going 8 years, 38, and we get a 5% boost. This is my guy. He might be the only hitter that has 50 homer upside here. I know he's got 44 last year. He hasn't hit 50, but just looking at his stats, he might be the only hitter in the roster that can really do it all. A lot of them have low vision or lower discipline. He's got everything. Here we go. This is it. This is it. My favorite hitter the best hitter in the game, show me the pens for your Don. There we go. I mean, when you hand out the size of contract that we did, gotta feel pretty good about it. And he is coming to Colorado to hit tanks.
And we get Gleyber Torres as well, getting more power, as well as a lefty platoon for Miguel Munoz, Ryan Ritter, and Andrew Fisher. Fisher would have to have come up this year. Ritter we are not going to bring back. So he's basically a upgrade over Ryan Ritter. God. So we've replaced McCarthy with Gunnar and Ritter with Gleyber. And then we're going to bring in Holiday and Rubio. Yeah, this team is so stacked. I really hope we can get good pitching out of the Rule 5 in that last week in free agency. And with the best player in the Rule 5 being Jake Irvin, I'm going to pass.
Finally, some legitimate, really good pitchers are here for the final day of free agency. So I'm going to give them 2 years each and finish out the rebuild with these guys. We've got Pepio, who looks really solid, coming off of back-to-back years with a sub-4 ERA. Can he do that for us, please? Cutter Crawford also looks good here. He hasn't pitched as much. I think he's been in a relief role or a long relief role, but he looks good as well. So 2 years for him. And then I've got a closer, Tony Santillan, and he's also been pitching very well. So we are helping out this team in a big way with these guys, and hopefully I can land them all. We'll see when I show you the roster here in just a minute. I was not able to land Pepio or Santillan. They did not like my offers enough, even though I way overpaid them. So I got Cutter Crawford, which is great. He's going to be our ace for the last 2 seasons here, unless we find somebody different. And we got Zach Littell coming up that good year, and we've got another Zach. Eflin became available here. And with that control, sometimes he has insane seasons like he did last year with a 2.72 ERA. It's such a broken stat. Everything else is in the gray besides his stamina, and yet he can pitch that well. So we'll see what he can do. Tanner Houck, will this be the year? Will this be the year for Tanner Houck? And then Brandon Walter, who's been on our team, I think since maybe the first Rule 5, is going to be our final star. So hopefully he'll be okay. Similar faces in the pen. I moved things around a little bit, and then I signed Joe Kunal instead of Santillan, and he looks very good. He actually went above his potential during spring training, and last year he had a 2.11 ERA, 2.95 the year before, and he's going to be our closer. So I like what I've got here. I think this is the best staff that we've had so far. So hopefully we can be at least Major League average in ERA. Hopefully better than that. That would be ideal. Now what is incredible is this lineup. This lineup is absolutely sick. Paredes, Santander, Alvarez, Buxton, our big 2 from free agency. We got them both. Marcelo Meyer coming back. Goodman coming back. Hoyt Gomez coming up. He's going to hit against righties and play first base. Defense is concerning. Don't really care though. So just need him to hit, 25 home runs against righties. I think that's doable with his stats. We'll see. Freeland, just love him at short. 20 or more home runs. I'm happy. And then Spencer Jones is going to hit against righties and play the outfield. And then against lefties, we've got Charlie Condon. So he's much better against lefties right now. He might take over against righties depending on how he develops this year. Lineup is a little bit different against lefties. Oh, Rooker is coming in to play outfield, which is risky, but again, don't really care about the defense that much, and I just need him to hit a bunch of home runs against lefties with 96 power. So to me, this has to be the year. This has to be the year to get the record. This is a team that can do it right here, and we've got some names on the bench as well that can supplement the rest of what a Major League Baseball team needs to do, like defensive sub for Lockridge and Steele Bags, pinch runner with Lockridge here in the outfield, Cole Carrig as our backup catcher, Wisely to just play anywhere. And I mean, this is a really good team. So can this be the year? We're going to move through things quickly. We've got 2 goals, right? Win the World Series and set the all-time home run record.
So our new pitching staff for this year 4 here is going to have Cutter Crawford in it. Tanner Houck is going to be back. We also got Braxton Garrett to get into this rotation. Otherwise, it's everybody else who's kind of on their last years of their deals. Garrett, Houck, Crawford were all available in the last week of free agency, so we were able to grab them. There were some guys in waivers, but none that really caught my eye. And so I think the challenge we're going to actually have is deciding how we are going to run this lineup, because let's just say we have so much depth now where I've got Gleyber Torres, Brent Rooker, Antoine Rubio on the bench. In fact, Kyle Karros is here because I'd rather just have Holiday down here for another year, just in case. And Rubio's going to have to make his way into the lineup like next year. I don't know where that is. This team is so... Maybe we can win before we have to bring him into the line. Like, it seems like it's right there. But do you really want to give up on Moniak, who has been so good? Or maybe it's Stowers' spot. Either way, it's going to be Rubio or Takahashi. I hope Rubio can develop at the major league level. I could just send him down to AAA again to get some more development time out of him. Somebody's going to be up next year. Our offense is great, but God, this pitching staff is horrible this year. Dollander is doing his job to make it look like we have a really good staff, because he's been really good so far. But Feltner, bad. Heel, all right. Houck, bad. Garrett, meh. Crawford, terrible. I have not figured out this pitching staff yet. Maybe I should have picked up guys off waivers just to show that it was possible. The Mets have offered me Juan Soto for Alfredo Bravo, who is the number 2 ranked prospect in baseball. So I could technically get Juan Soto. This team's already too good. I don't think that that's fair. If I have Soto and Gunnar, still ridiculous to get that offer.
About 2 months in the season or so, 2.5 months in, and I decided to make a blockbuster trade. Decided to go for Matt Olson to play first base. Now, he is regressing, and we'll see later on that some of our core is starting to regress here, but we need more power. We need more home runs. He's got 35, 40 homer upside in him. He had a 54 homer season as well, so that's hiding in there somewhere. 15 so far this year. Not having his best season, but I think he'll turn it around, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the lineup here. Just moving things around, so bringing in Matt Olson, right, to play first base. Santander will be in the outfield in that case, and then Spencer Jones is going to be here against righties, kind of how I had it set up. Condon back to the bench, so just need to get some more home runs going. You know, Freeland's not quite the guy for the home runs. We've talked about that already, but Buxton definitely is, and he only has 4 right now, and he is regressing rapidly. We paid him $40 million for these next 2 years, and I need him to hold on because we need that power out there in center field. Some other guys are doing great. Yordan's been unbelievable, so he's carrying us on the home runs. And just looking at the team, 43 and 35. We actually got off to a hot start and have started to just fall apart a little bit, but we'll see what we can do here with an Olsen trade and check in, you know, just after the draft around the All-Star break. So checking on the team, we're at the All-Star break, just past it, and we've overtaken first place, 57 and 40. So we've gotten hot here since my last update. And looking at the All-Stars here, I know one guy that's going to be there. There might only be one, to be honest with you, and it's Yordan. He's been exceptional so far, and he's regressed just 1 overall, but it's spread out across all of his attributes. So it could be, you know, his real start of his regression at age 31 with 10 years of service time. Obviously, we're not going to have to go out this far, but this contract would age very badly. But that didn't matter for the purposes of this video. He has 32 home runs right now. He's, I believe, leading the league. We'll check in a second. He's 1-dotting it as far as the OPS, so that is very good. And yeah, he is our only All-Star. So check this out here. Let's do some math. So how many games into the season are we? We are 97 games into the season. Get out the calculator here. 97 games into the season. Okay, now looking at that's team rankings for home runs. Okay, we're third, tied for third. Okay, 172 divided by 95, 1.81 times 162 puts us on pace for 293. So we're behind pace. We're behind pace, and I'll show you why. I will show you why, because it's a little frustrating. So, Yordan, Santander, Olsen, Goodman, Paredes, Meyer, Condon, Jones, who are splitting time. Even Freeland, pretty good. Byron, Buxton. What are we doing, man? And he is regressing rapidly, having a rough season. Only 6 home runs right now. How many did he have last year? 41. So that's what's holding us back, is it's really just him having a truly an unfathomable year. And he's got to turn it around if we're going to get that record. We're in great shape for the playoffs, so the World Series goal is within reach. And I'll show you the pitching staff too. It's a mix of good and bad again, right? So Eflin, solid, no complaints. Cutter Crawford, not bad, under 4. Hauk, turning it around a bit, 4.01. Here's the bad one. Zach Littell, 5.21 ERA. I thought this was going to be the year for him, but it is just not. So, I don't really have anybody that can take that spot over from him. Looking at the league leaders in home runs. So, Cal. Gosh, is he untouchable? We could trade for Cal, but Goodman's he's been doing enough. So you got Jordan there. So when I tried to break the home run record, I guess I won't spoil it. I did do a video at one point trying to break the MLB home run record, right? And the year we did it, I had the top 5 all of in a row. So I don't know what BigIrrelevant is cooking up over there. Haven't checked in.
All-star pitcher.
But do I need to be going harder? Do I need to be going more all in? It's just tough when so many guys are untouchable, but I'll look around the league and see if I can find anybody else. So everybody's untouchable. For everybody that I want is untouchable. You got Caminero, we could put him at 3rd instead of Paredes, untouchable. Vladdy is not, but first base we've got covered. Murakami is untouchable. This would have been a fun target if we could get him and put him at 3rd base. Who else was it? I looked at, let me zoom ahead. Yeah, Cal Raleigh is untouchable. And yeah, I flipped through everybody to try to see what we could cook up, but I think Acuna untouchable as well. So I don't see what I can do, really. I mean, you've seen the lineup. It's got some home run hitters in here. I mean, Freeland, doesn't have the most power, right? But he's still got 11 home runs, and I asked him to get 20 and hope that the rest of the team can pick it up. So it comes down to Buxton. Can he figure some things out before the end of this year to get us to that record? All right, finishing out the year here, 96 and 66. Is that the same as last year? I actually can't remember. We'll check in a second, but we did win the division. It looks like we've got some league leaders and awards to come to in just a second here. So we ended up beating the Dodgers by quite a bit, which was great. We had 848 runs scored. We could definitely do more than that, I know for sure, but still good. We're giving up a lot of runs as well, 722 given up. Pitching staff's not that great, and we finished the year on a 3-game losing streak. But overall, happy with that final record. Let's take a look at our award here. What do we get? Hank Aaron for Jordan, and we've got Rookie of the Year for Spencer Jones, and an MVP for Jordan Alvarez with the Rockies, 53 home runs. He led the way for sure. So we've got that. We had our Rookie of the Year for Jones. Condon's also here, 26 and 22 home runs, and they were splitting time most of the year. So this is a good sign for us. We'll take a look at the home runs in a second. Jordan led the league in everything. That's what he does. And was anybody else up there with him? So he had the most home runs. Who was our next most here? And I got to scroll down way too far here. We should already have seen multiple of our guys. Olsen with 36. So that paid off with the trade. And Goodman with 34. So that is solid. Let's just take a look. Let's take a look. How many home runs did we get to? We had 289, less than last year. And that's with 53 from Jordan. So I don't know. We're going to have to go crazy next year to really get this done. Our offense is good. We just need more home runs. And looking at it, we could get better at 3rd. 28 for Paredes is okay. Meyer, playing 2nd and short. We can get better there as well. And then Buxton did have a strong finish to the year to get to 18, but that's just not going to cut it, really. So there's some ways we can get more home runs. It's just whether or not I can actually make the trades or get the free agents to do it. Last year's free agent pool was a big one, and we got our 2, but, that was maybe not going to be enough.
112 wins. We win the division and are taking on the winner of the wild card playoff game. This was a dominant season. Absolutely dominant season. Dude, we passed on Juan Soto and still won 112 games. And I think that's because we picked the right DH. Gunnar Henderson is the MVP this season with 62 home runs. 144 RBIs, beating out the 57 home runs from Hunter Goodman at 131 RBIs. Dude, if we had this, we could have had Juan Soto with another 53 on top of that. That's so crazy. And look at Dollander leading the league in ERA, as Gunnar leads in home runs, RBIs. Goodman leads in runs, and Moniak leads in slugging percentage. Oh my God. 430 with just a clean almost 400 run differential. This is the greatest offense I've ever built in my life. We scored 1,000 runs. So before we get to the offense, first off, amazing season for Dollander. 298 with a 133 whip, 15-2 on the season. Racks up 3.3 WAR. I'm so glad that he ended up being a decent pitcher. And the rest of the rotation wasn't terrible. Now, Luis Gil is going to be leaving. Sadly, I will not be able to keep him any longer. And he had a good season. Braxton Garrett had a good season. And then Hunter Harvey had a good season. Another 42 saves there. Vodnik had a fantastic season. I think we have one more year of him too, so he could be our closer next year. I think this pitching staff might be good enough now. But let's take a look at the offense to just take a quick glance. 1 home run from Ethan Holiday, who did come in the lineup. 8 from Brett Rooker, not too bad. 11 from Gleyber Torres, not too bad. Antoine Rubio, 12 home runs on the season, not too bad for the rookie. Wasn't in the Rookie of the Year race, but still, pretty good season from him. 829 OPS, like I'll take that from a rookie who came off the bench. 50 home runs from Devers with a 287 average and a 929 OPS for 5.8 WAR. Kyle Stowers, 38 home runs, 298 average. By the way, he only played 122 games to get to 38 home runs, so that's a 973 OPS for 5.3 WAR. Gunnar, 62 home runs, 144 RBIs, 273 average with a 967 OPS and 6.9 WAR. How about Hunter Goodman? You know, the runner-up in the MVP? Yeah, 294 average, 975 OPS, 57 home runs, 131 RBIs, 9.6 WAR. Mickey Moniak, 51 home runs, 124 RBIs, 329. He's a 91 overall with an 1100 OPS and 7.1 WAR. Edward Julian, 19 home runs, 263. He was platooning with Gleyber, so that's okay. Condon, 39 home runs, 96 RBIs, 280 average, and an 886 OPS for 3 WAR. Then O'Neal Cruz, 41 home runs on a 107 RBIs, and 39 from Willy Adames. So, outside of the second base platoon, which if you combined them together, that's 30 home runs. And then your platoon for outfield, Stowers and Rooker, combined is 46 home runs. Our worst position, I guess, is second base, or maybe shortstop. This is how do you get better than this? I don't think you can.
So here's our playoff rotation, and Crawford ended up having a great year with a 3.4 ERA, so I have to re-sign him and bring him back. He looks good, and he went up to 85 overall. I didn't expect that, so he got even better. He is our ace. Oh no, I did sign up for 2 years, didn't I? Okay, good. All right, so he'll be coming back. Eflin in the 2. He regressed a lot this year, but still managed to put up a 3.72. And then Tanner Gordon, who I brought up and mentioned earlier, is going to be our 3, and Tanner Houck with a 4.5 ERA. I don't know, man. He looks good. He just hasn't been able to get it done just yet. Then you got Grove. Littell is moving into long relief, and I switched up who's going to be our closer. Pearson Ole had a great regular season with 90 innings to a 2.5 ERA, 106 whip. So I'm going to go with him as our closer because Hicks didn't do that well there. We do have one good lefty in Waddell. I think he's been here the whole time, just holding it down for us pretty solidly. So yeah, that's the squad. The lineup is the same as it's been. This is playoff run number 2 of the video, and we've got the Dodgers right out of the gate. Crawford and Ohtani for game number 1, and we have too many players on our roster. Well, I don't think I'm going to need Zach Littell anyway, so I'm just going to take him off the playoff roster because he was in long relief and he was not very good. So he's going out. Back to business here. Crawford and Ohtani for game 1, we win. Eflin and Yamamoto for game 2, we lose 5-0. Game 3, Tanner Gordon, the rookie who we brought up against Emmett Sheehan, we win 13-0. okay. Homers from Jordan, Olsen, and Buxton. That's a good sign. And Gordon went 5 shutout before giving it over to Belloso, who I also brought up. Kranick, our pickup. And then Kunel got the save? All right. Well, he somehow managed to find his way to the closing role anyway. Hauk and Snell to move us on to the next round, and we win. There we go. Okay.
So we get the Dodgers once again in this playoff run. We are the better team. We have the greatest offense ever. They almost scored like 900 runs too. It doesn't really matter. So can we take down the Dodgers quickly? Is our pitching staff going to be good enough this time around? And so we have Dollander versus Ohtani in game 1. Ohtani got lit up, it looks like, in the wild card round. Can Dollander continue his amazing season? Yariel Rodriguez gets hurt, but that's okay. We win 7-3. Dollander gets the win. 5 innings, good game. Feltner versus Sheehan in game 2. We do lose, give up 9 runs in that one. Eel versus Yamamoto going to LA. We lose. We're down 2-1 to the Dodgers. Hauk versus Robleski. We do win. Muriel's back. Garrett versus Ohtani in game 5. It's going to be enough. We are going on to take on Yordan Alvarez and the Chicago Cubs.
We'll be taking on the Brewers. So I don't know a ton about the Brewers roster. Let's go take a look here real quick. Let's see what's going on over here with the Brew crew. Okay, they got the Miz. How's he looking? Oh yeah, he can strike a guy out or two. Okay, Contreras, Turang, Churio, they look pretty similar. Hader came back. My day's up. He looks excellent. All right. Yeah, pretty good team. I think we can take him, though. I mean, the offense has just got to go nuts, and Cutter Crawford's got to be a little better. He did not pitch well in the first game, and now in game 1 of this series, we win 7-6. Eflin and the Miz for game 2. Not loving our chances, but we win 4-2. Gordon and Elder, game 3, we lose. Hauk and Harrison, game 4, we lose. So we're all tied up, back around to Cutter Crawford, who looks like he had another bad start, going up against Quinn Priester, who's not been that good either, and we lose 10-4. We're going to have to win the next 2 games. This one is against The Miz, and we lose, and we are eliminated.
And so back to the top of our lineup here. Dollander versus Alcantara, and then Feltner is our number. This is crazy. All right. Dollander in game 1, 10-3 victory. Game 2, still in Colorado. Feltner versus Valdez. We do lose. Don't score enough runs there. Going to Chicago, we need to take a game off of Neal versus Amanaga. Come on, guys. We won 112 games. There we go. 2-2. Garrett versus Valdez. We're up 3-2. Dollander versus Imanaga in game 6. We advance to take on either the Orioles or the Mariners in the World Series.
And Milwaukee will take on the Yankees, who swept Baltimore in this World Series, and the Yankees end up taking this one in 2029. And this means we've got only one more chance to get both our record and to win a World Series.
And so it's the Baltimore Orioles, where Gunnar Henderson is going to have to take on his former team that he left just this past year in the World Series. They decided to pay pitching and not him, and we got him and have no pitching because Ryan Feltner is on the mound for game 1 of the World Series. And game 1 doesn't go very well for us as we get lit up in the bullpen side of it. Feltner gave up 4 runs, but we were still close. We end up losing 13-3 in game 1. But hey, World Series jitters. We got this. We got Luis Seal, game 2. Oh, Shane Bieber. Okay, all right. Well, that is a great pitcher. And we lose both games in Colorado. We have to win at least 2 in Baltimore. Hauk versus Raup. We win 5-4 thanks to the bullpen. Garrett versus Boz. We win 1-0. Dollander versus Hunter Brown. Come on, Chase, this is all you. You got to win all games in Baltimore. Chase gets beat. We're down 3-2. It's an elimination game. It's going to be Feltner versus Bieber. And we get the victory. Feltner takes him down. We have a game 7 of the World Series. Luis Gil versus Landon Raup. Since there are 2 rebuilds going on at once, we're just going to quick manage this. I'm not going to jump in and show everything. Maybe we'll jump in if we have to. Luis Seal on the mound. Jackson Holiday, Samuel Basayo, David Fry, Pete Alonso, C.J. Abrams, Brandon Nimmo, Jordan Westbrook, Dylan Beavers, and Miguel Vargas. That is not that good of a team. They only won 86 games this season, and we won 112. We are the favorite. We're here in Colorado, but Gil is not a great pitcher. So we're going to start off against Jackson Holiday, a guy who I actually kind of wanted to have at some point, just because I know I've got Ethan. Jackson would have been a nice second baseman to get, but he's untouchable, and Baltimore's going to keep him. They get a single for David Fry, but nothing else. Devers going to lead us off against Landon Raup with a ground out. Stowers gets a double, so our first runner in scoring position for Gunnar Henderson with a double. We take the lead off of a Gunnar Henderson double against his former team. Man on second for Hunter Goodman, who flies out. Moniak strikes out. We take a 1-0 lead after the first inning. Going to the top of the second, CJ Abrams, his replacement, gets a walk to get on. Strikeout from Nimmo, ground out from Westberg, but advances Abrams for Beavers. Gets a single. It's 1-1. So Gunnar gets a run. Abrams gets a run. It's tied. Top of the fourth for Luis Seal against CJ Abrams with a flyout. Nimmo flies out and Westberg grounds out. Great pitching game so far, which is a shock between these two teams. Dylan Beavers versus Luis Seal here with a strikeout. Vargas strikes out and Holiday gets a walk to get on for Basayo, who hits a 2-run shot. The Orioles lead 3-1. That'll probably be the end of Luis Seal's day. Now we got to fight back from behind. Ground out for Condon. Strikeout for Cruz. Adames gets on with a single for Devers. Sitting 155. Come on. Do something. That's what I'm talking about. It's 3-2. Devers with a double. Strikeout. Okay, we're still down. We're going to make the pitching change. We got righty, lefty, lefty. We're going to go to Braxton Garrett in this one. He's my only lefty, so that's really my only shot. Don't hit a home run off me, Pete Alonso. Strikeout. Perfect. Double for Abrams, ground out, advances the runner, and Westberg grounds out, so we get out of that. Bottom of the 8th, down a run. Devers flies out. Stowers strikes out. Going to Joe Jimenez. Gunnar gets on with a walk. We're going to steal second for Hunter Goodman, who flies out. It's the top of the 9th. I'm going to go to Chase Dollander. Get me out of the inning. Fly out, fly out, fly out. Going to Justin Martinez against Mickey Moniak. Single, man on. It's the bottom of the 9th. We've got Julian. We've got Condon. I forget. Is Justin Martinez a lefty? No, he's a righty. All right, I forget. So we will keep Julian in. We're going to jump in. So bottom of the 9th, no outs. 3-1 count for Edward Julian with Condon on. Oh, wait, no, not Condon. Julian! Edward Julian! I just jumped in. Edward Julian! Walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th of the World Series. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Number 7 wins Game 7. The most unlikely of heroes. Technically the worst batter in the lineup. Hits the walk-off 2-run shot in the bottom of the 9th of Game 7 of the World Series, and the Colorado Rockies win their first ever World Series off a walk-off home run by the Canadian second baseman, Edward Julian. Oh my God. I wish I could say I'm speechless, but I'm talking too much to be speechless. We just won a World Series on a walk-off home run. Not by our best player, not by our second best player, not by our MVP, not by our free agent acquisition, not by our top prospects. Edward Julian. And Chase Dollander is going to get the win because he pitched the 9th inning. What the hell? Oh my God, we're World Series champions. I am speechless. I've seen walk-offs happen before. I've seen intense jump-in situations to win the game. I've never seen first pitch, literally the first pitch I jump in on, Julian hits a home run. World Series MVP goes to Hunter Goodman. Probably should go to Edward Julian. Playoff MVP Charlie Condon. We've done it. 1,000 runs, 400 home runs in a Game 7 World Series. We technically still have one challenge to do. Wow. So going into this offseason, we have to make room for Antoine Rubio or Takahashi or Mark Gilchrist to make this lineup, so that way we can have a rookie in our lineup. I'm pretty sure that's going to end up being Antoine Rubio, which means we could take Rooker and Stowers and combine them into one player, or I can move off of like Cruz or something like that. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm going to do to make this team work. I hope that zbrodie is having just as fun of a team as I am, because this team is so good. It's so good. I've never built an offense this potent, to the point where we're literally looking at, to accept our challenge, we have to make our team worse. So, shout out Edward Julian.
Look, I thought this team was good. I thought we had what it takes to get a home run record, to get a World Series title, but we don't. We have to go all in, and I've been going pretty much as all in as I can go. But I think we could take it a little bit further. There's two guys on the trading block that I need, James Wood and Junior Caminero, who both had 43 home run seasons last year, and I think these two guys can push us over the edge. So I am going to cook up trades for both of them, and I want everybody on this team to be a power hitter. If that means we've got 86 overalls on the bench, we've got 86 overalls on the bench. No more letting the young guys play, unless I have to, like our prospect I'll talk about later. I got to take this as far as I possibly can in the final season. We have to go out with a bang, and I can't help but get the feeling that BigIrrelevant's team over there is kicking ass by now, and I want to kick ass too. One day later, Junior Caminero has been acquired, and I had to give up on Hoyt here. I just don't need him. We've got first base with Olsen as well as Santander as a backup, and we obviously need Junior here, and I gave up a couple of prospects. Nothing too crazy. I didn't have to give up quite that much, and that is Blockbuster trade number 1 completed. I also traded for Ryan Jeffers. I want even our backup catchers to be absolutely destroying baseballs, do not care about fielding. So we've got Jeffers coming in, and I traded Jordan Beck and a prospect here to get that one over the line. James Wood is now a Rocky. Big trade number 2 completed. I'm not even counting Jeffers as a big trade. Alan England out the door. Super cool prospect. Would have loved to let this guy play with that contact and defense. He's going to be unbelievable now for the Nationals, but that power is just not going to cut it on this roster, and James Wood definitely is. There is one free agent that I need, and it's my guy. Wait for it. Brandon Lau. This is the greatest lineup of all time. There's just no other way to put it. And adding up their home run totals from last year, they had 317, which gets us to our number. Now, don't forget, we've got guys on the bench too, including Spencer Jones, who had 26, Ryan Jeffers had 36, and I've got our prospect up here, Evan Gallagher, because that is a requirement. So we'll see what he can do. He should get some at-bats against lefties. And, I mean, this team is disgusting. Disgusting. If we can't do it with this team, I don't know how the hell else I'm going to do it. So this is the lineup. Let's go add a little bit of pitching here because we need some help, especially in the rotation. And we should be set up for massive success here. So this is a $300 million team right now, by the way. Look at all these deals. And this is the last year of the challenge, right? So many of these contracts expire after this year. Even with all the guys that I've traded in our farm, we might still have the number 1 farm system. Let me just check this real quick. Let me just see. Okay, number 3. All right, so there's still really good guys in here. So the team would survive after this year. They'd be okay. It'd be a little bit of a rebuild. But the point of this that I wanted to show you is I have $31 million up there in the top left in green to find a pitcher, to find a starter. And we need one more. So here's my rotation right now. And I'll talk about all this in a little bit. But I have not checked what is going to be here in the final day of free agency. So this is our last chance. and it's not looking that great. Hayden Wisniewski is number 1. I mean, he's not terrible. I don't know. Maybe Bradford. Let me look through here and decide, and I'll show you who I sign. The final piece. I went with Cody Bradford, and if we can't get it done with this team, I don't know.
This offseason, all we did was sign Cody Bradford in that last week of free agency as our 5th starter, as well as bringing Jason Foley to replace like Keegan Thompson as the last guy in the bullpen, but we made no changes to the lineup. Look, one thing we are supposed to do is technically bring in a rookie as a mainstay in a lineup. And Antoine Rubio did play 66 games, so that's kind of up to your judgment in the comments whether or not that is good enough to qualify as an everyday, not an everyday player, but like a lineup guy. He's a guaranteed platoon. He's platooning with Mickey Moniak. We still have Rooker here platooning with Stowers, and then we've got Glaber platooning with Julian, and Holiday could platoon, but Condon's been so good it makes no sense. Adames has been so good it makes no sense for those guys to platoon. So Holiday is just kind of on the bench here. It means that our rookies like Takahashi and Gilchrist probably won't make the lineup this year. But we will see likely some regression. I think Moniak should regress a little bit. Goodman has had 2 insane seasons. Gunner's not hitting 62 home runs this year, I would think. I mean, I don't think we're scoring 1,035 runs this season. But it's not like we haven't drafted well and had good prospects. Alfredo Bravo could be traded straight up for Juan Soto right now if I wanted to. In fact, the Mets just offered me Lindor for him. Again. We have Mark Gilchrist here. We have Lester O'Neill, Chauncey Taylor, Joe Rangel, Anton Reyes, Cisneros, Will Brown, Ken Ayala. Takahashi is our 10th rated prospect. He's a guy who could play right now. He's 97th in the top 100. We've got 10 guys in the top 100. We have drafted really, really, really well. The problem is this team's so good, these guys don't have room to play. And so do I tank the chance to see if we can hit another 1,000 runs in this season, another 400 home run year for the chance to play the rookies? Or do I see if we can get 400 runs? Look, the thing I'm thinking about is that I'll let you guys decide whether or not this is fair in the challenge sake. I want to see if I can do better than I did last year, which I doubt is possible. But I think I've built the best lineup. I haven't seen what Brodie's made. There's no way he hits 1,000 runs. There's no way. My team has to be better. I could be wrong. Maybe his rookies are phenomenal. Maybe he's got some generational talents. At this point, I have no clue. I feel like I made the better team. I feel like I rebuilt this team better. We have so much talent. But this season, I guess I'll decide it. I have no idea where he's at. Gunnar Henderson hit 3 home runs with 8 RBIs on April 1st. So, maybe we are just going to run it back. 63 home runs this time, Gunnar. The entire team regressing by 1 overall within the first 2 weeks of the season was not my... not my call sheet. I was not expecting that. Year 5, maybe we will bring in the rookies. I don't know. In 1 month into the season, we are leading our division somehow, despite our average being down like 50 points from last year. Our slugging percentage being down like 100 points from last year. Our on base being down like 100 points from last year. What? Our offense is awful. How? Hey, we expect the regression. You can't hit that well and overperform and have every single player in your team overperform and expect to continue for 2 seasons. That's not how MLB The Show works. The offense is coming around, but look, the pitching staff. Dollander, 309, but Cutter Crawford, 244 right now. And Cody Bradford, my GOAT, 195. You always know Cody Bradford gonna pull in for me.
60-37. 9.5 games in front of the Dodgers. No complaints at all. We're looking very, very good. When I look over here, all right, at the home runs, we're in first with 198. On a 162 pace, that gets us to 330. So we are in a good spot. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I'm not going to jinx it. We're in a good spot. You want to talk about runs scored? Somehow we're not first. The Yankees have more runs scored than us. They ended up landing Ellie De La Cruz in my save file here, who, like I said, I debated signing him, but I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to afford him. So I didn't end up doing that. Actually, before I get out of here, I'm going to show you our ERA. So I'm just flipping over here. So we are 7th in ERA. So a top 10 pitching staff We're doing it on both sides of the ball, which is good to see for once out of this team here. Let's look at some individual stats. We'll start with home runs for our team. Jordan is a monster. This guy's unbelievable. 41. 41. I mean, it's the best hitting profile in the game. Best hitting profile in the game. It's exceptional. James Wood has been perfect. Exactly what I needed. 24 home runs. He's on about a 38 home run pace, somewhere around there. Belau right up there with 20. He's regressing very rapidly, but we need to keep him just serviceable, let's say. Maybe in the playoffs, I probably won't have him hit against lefties because that's just not going to work out, but we'll get there when we get there. Olsen, 20. Again, the whole team's regressing pretty much. These are all just certified dogs at this point. Meyer with 18. How about that? Believing in him to be our shortstop. He's at 18 on 30 homer pace. He had 22 last year for the whole season, 142 games. So I think this worked out. I mean, shortstop's one of the harder positions to get power at. Caminero, a little disappointing. I'm gonna be honest, a little bit disappointing. Even he's regressing a little bit at only 26 years old. He's one of those guys that seems to regress. Maybe he's just having a bad year and going down. But 17, definitely wanted a little bit more out of him. And then Buxton, a little better pace than last year. Condon's only hitting against lefties, so 5 is okay. How many games played does he have here? 37. Like a little bit more there. And then, yeah, I mean, our bench is, contributing. Evan Gallagher, our one rookie here, has 2 home runs. We've given him some ABs. I just don't want to risk putting him fully in the lineup. We need to get this record. I probably could do it. We'll see. But he's got 126 at-bats. And, it's the best we got. This is the best we were able to find. If this went out more seasons, he would be unbelievable. That's for sure. I think he had 97 potential, right? So, yeah. So that's the team. I mean, Jordan's carrying it. He's hitting has been enough home runs for 2 players. So he needs to keep that up. Pitching staff, real quick here. Tanner Houck is doing it. Finally, he's doing it. Having a really, really nice season. 110 innings so far. He's 16-4, which kind of stinks for him. But 2.61 ERA. Can he keep this up for the whole year? He had this happen once before. I want to say it was 2020. Might have been the first year we got him, actually. 27, where he had like a 2 or 2.5 ERA at the All-Star break. So he needs to keep it up. Jordan Hicks, great. Kasparius, great. Bullpen, honestly, is all good. Rest of my starters, come on. Cody Bradford, I mean, seriously, man? Seriously? Like, why can't this go my way? Cutter Crawford. Why can we not do this for me? All right? 4.8 ERAs, guys. Like, that's just not good. Even Tanner Gordon, who I had some hopes for. So the rotation is kind of letting me down. So really, it's the bullpen that's keeping our ERA in 7th in the league. But that is where we stand. Go ahead and take a look at the All-Stars here real quick. I think we might only have one again. Let's just flip through. Okay, Meyer, how about that? Is that his first? Man, that profile's looking awesome. He's looking awesome. I think that might be his first. No, second, but not with us. We didn't have him in 26. And then we've got... I wish... See, there's so many untouchables in this game now, you can never get somebody like Connor Griffin. So, I don't know. Just complaining a little bit. Jordan, there we go. Rooker? Really? Come on, man. How many home runs does he have? 25? Well, didn't really do that well with us, so... Anyway, I won't go on too long here. We're looking really good.
Offense is making its way back at the All-Star break. We're 63-34, back to looks like the top offense in the league, with 5 All-Stars, including 3 pitchers, because Cody Bradford's an All-Star, Evan Phillips is an All-Star, Victor Vodnik is an All-Star, Hunter Goodman is an All-Star. He's at 26 home runs. I don't think he's going to be an MVP candidate this year. Rafael Devers is an All-Star, 31 home runs. I think this is probably going to go Matt Olson. And in the lineup, Rooker's honestly bad enough where we could say, I think we could send him, I'm not going to cut him, or I guess trade him for an asset, technically, because we're not going to cut Rooker. I can't send him down. But we could move off Rooker and bring in Takahashi. And so we're going to send Rooker over for just a prospect from the Tigers. Thank you very much, Brent. You're not really that useful for me anymore. By the way, we're just getting ridiculous. I'm getting trade offers every single day. And so now Takahashi and Rubio are going to man the corners of our outfield. We've got our young guys in the lineup.
We're going to do it. We are going to do it. 284 home runs with 1 month left in the year. We are going to do it. James Wood and Matt Olson right there behind Jordan, who has 55. We're looking really good. I'll do September call-ups real quick, and then let's sim game by game until we get that record. We are at 302 with a long way to go here. We're gonna get it done. Look how many games we have left. So let's simulate 2 games. Ooh, we only put up 1 run. Okay, a 3rd game here. Okay, 8-6. There could have been some homers there. Oops, not tasks. All right, statistics, team rankings, and home runs. There it is. 308 home runs. We have broken the all-time record, still with a little bit of season to go. So how many are we going to get to? Let's simulate to the end here. Don't worry about the farm system, okay? Don't worry about the pitching staff that's down there. 97 and 65 is the final total. We never broke 100 wins. If BigIrrelevant had like 120 in one season, that's on me, if you made it to this part of the video. And yeah, so what are you going to do? I did my best. That's all I can say. Now, what was our final? 332. You're done with 60. Oh my goodness. I think he's going to be getting back-to-back MVPs here. Let's see the awards. Yep, National League MVP, Yordan Alvarez, beating out Michael Bush and Juan Soto. How about Michael Bush? 56 home runs for Michael Bush? Should I have had him this whole time? I mean, there's a lot of good first basemen. Man, he looks awesome. Wow. Okay, next time I use this roster, I'm getting him. How's Soto holding up? Still 99 overall. Wow. Okay. Cy Young, that didn't really matter for us. Never got any Cy Youngs in this one. Batting title, Olsen. Okay, no relievers snuck in there, and no rookies of the year. I didn't give enough at-bats to our prospect at the end of the day. So league leaders, Yordan. Homers, RBI, and hits. Let's go look at the home runs, because well, there he is in number 1. Okay, I was telling you, we need to have a lot of guys. I need to not scroll down before I see the next guy. James Wood was all the way down here at 17. So there's quite a few players in here that I contemplated throughout this video to get, or even attempted to get. Like Nolan Gorman, I tried to trade for him and did not get that across the line. He was going to play second base, and then ultimately we got Belau this year. Jordan Walker, I just couldn't, I don't know. Our outfield was stacked already. I just couldn't find it for Jordan Walker. Drake Baldwin I almost traded for. Bobby Witt? How's he hitting that many? Well, he's untouchable. So was Cal Raleigh. So was Murakami. And Rooker, of course, we traded him away a couple years ago. He's there. Rice was untouchable the whole time. There's a lot of guys I wanted to get just to stack this team that you can't do anymore. You know, last year's game, you could just run it up, right? All right, as far as our whole team here. So 60 for Yordan, 37 for Wood, 35 for Olsen, 33 for Lau, Caminero. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above 30. Yordan's just an outlier with 60. And then, you know, you get enough guys here in 20. Big bounce back from Buxton. Great to see that for him in the last year of his $40 million a year contract. And then a couple contributions from the bench. Our guy, Gallagher, got 5 homers. He's looking pretty good. Actually improved nicely. The profile's great. He would take over center field after Buxton next year if I kept going. That was going to be my plan. So, and then pitching staff wise, Tanner Houck made a solid finish. Had a strong finish to the year. 328. Kasparius was really our standout. I wish he had the stamina to be a starter because he would be unbelievable, but he does not. And then Tanner Gordon turned it around a little bit too. So 414, I mean, for what we got to work with, that's pretty good. I'm just bummed with our 2 guys that I signed, you know, throughout this for, you know, that last day of free agency. Why couldn't we get better seasons out of them? Hopefully they can do a little nicer in the playoffs. I mean, Cutter Crawford had a good year that first year, so I'm not going to complain too much, but that's kind of what we got. Let me set up this roster, and we've got to win a World Series.
We end the season 106-56, winning the division, taking on the winner of the wild card playoff game. We only score 856 runs this year, but I think most insanely, the Dodgers don't make the playoffs. And once again, we do break the home run record, 343 this year. Technically, we don't break it because we set it last year. We have no award winners because Matt Olson gets the MVP with 61 home runs for the Braves, 306 average, 144 RBIs. Skeens in second. Phenomenal season now with the Cubs, and Gunnar was third. He did get 53 home runs, but not enough to beat out Olsen. And Skeens, Cy Young too. We had no league leaders this year, which is crazy because Cody Bradford had a 1.96 ERA on the season with a .96 whip. Phenomenal year. from him. Dollander with a 3.9, Crawford at a 3.9. So overall decent pitching staff this year. 2.62 from Vodnik as the closer. And the lineup did see its regression, but we still got 41 home runs out of Devers, 28 from Stowers, 53 from Gunnar, 43 from Goodman, 33 from Moniak. Julian still with 25. Condon was injured a little bit this season. He hits 21. Holiday hits 9 in his stead. 33 from Cruz and 34 from Adames with our 2 rookies. Takahashi getting 5 home runs in his decent, I think he only got 27 games, but still was pretty good, 0.9 WAR in that time. And Antoine Rubio played 70 games and not as good. 207 average, 591. He was a much worse player than his cohort here in Takahashi. So our guys have not performed, but they're only in year 1 and year 2. I also want to look at Goodman, who, what a 5-year run for our catcher. I'll be curious to see what Brody gets in the same 5 years with Hunter Goodman, because we get 29 home runs, 46, 51, 57, and 43 over that time span. 746, 873, 907, 976, and 845 OPS with 3.8, 6.1, 8, 9.6, and 5.6 WAR. I mean, he had like 30... He had like 33 WAR, essentially. Yeah, about 33 WAR, 32, 33 WAR in the 5 years that we had him. Let's see who's Hunter Goodman performs better. I don't know. Maybe he traded him. That would seem crazy to me. And I think our best acquisition, Rafael Devers, who didn't perform in last year's playoffs, but since we got him, I mean, he had that weird year where he got traded and performed a little bit down. 46, 45, 50, 41 home runs over that time span, 900 OPS every single year, 4 WAR just about every single year. For a salary dump for the Giants, we paid off, and that wasn't even the only guy we got, because Willy Adames, while starting really bad and definitely not being worth the $30 million he cost, ended up putting together 28 homers, 39, 34 in those latter 4 years. I mean, on a WAR perspective, he definitely was not worth the money, but not bad for just the extra throw-in piece. I mean, technically, we get Devers because we also taken Willy Adames. I mean, we paid $60 million for those two. And while he had a down year, I mean, Condon is up to a hot start. 35 home runs, 37, 39, 21 this year because he did get injured, had a much worse season this year. But, I mean, fantastic bat for us and definitely a part of this team's future.
Okay, here it is. Playoff rotation with Houck as our ace, Tanner Gordon as our 2, and then I have to trust Cutter Crawford and Cody Bradford to turn it around. That's going to be our 4. That's the best I got. It really is. So we'll see what they can do. Lineup obviously is incredible. And we've got one more chance. We got a first round bye. We'll be playing either LA or Milwaukee. So let's simulate ahead here. And it's going to be Milwaukee. They have Paul Skeens. So game 1 is Houck versus Skeens, and we win 7-6. Tanner Gordon versus Jacob Mizorowski in game 2. We win 5-1 for a sweep here. Cutter Crawford, come on. Just need one good game out of you versus Quinn Priester, and we win. That is a sweep, and we'll be taking on the Mets or the Cubs.
But that future is still right now, as we have a chance to go back to the World Series. We have the Mets in the NLDS after they took down Paul Skeens, Yordan Alvarez, and the Chicago Cubs. Nolan McLean on the mound versus Dollander in game 1 in Colorado. Our offense is not as potent as it was, but our pitching staff is better. Will that be enough? For McLean, 8-1, we light him up. He's got a 21 ERA in the postseason. Going to Cutter Crawford in game 2 against Dustin May, we get a 5-2 victory. Before we go to New York, Shane McClanahan versus Braxton Garrett. We're going to sweep the Mets.
So he stayed up at 99 overall. Logan Webb, okay, they have good closer. Haven't had one of those. Carson Bench, Vinny P, Terang, and McLean. How's McLean looking? Regressing. Okay. Good rotation. I mean, that's going to be the challenge. So Lindor's hanging on here. He was on the block at one point, but decided not to make the move for him. Anyway, okay, back to business. So we've got the Mets for the CS. Can we make it further than we ever have before? This is our last chance for zbrodie's Rockies. Game 1 is Bradford versus Webb. We win 8-0. 8-0. Cody Bradford gets it done. Houck versus Reagans for game 2. We win. We haven't lost yet. Tanner Gordon versus Nolan McLean. We win for another sweep. Cutter Crawford versus Logan Webb, and we lose. Okay, Cody Bradford back on the mound. Great start in game 1. Taking on Cole Reagans, we win, and we will be going to the World Series facing either the Yankees or the White Sox.
Which is going to give us the Atlanta Braves and MVP, Matt Olson, for our second or our NLCS opportunity to go against either Cleveland or Boston. Feltner is going to get game 1. That worked well for the World Series for us last year. Feltner gets the loss. Doesn't matter, though. Cody Bradford, game 2 versus Corbin Burns, gets crushed in that one. We are down 2-0. Dollander versus Tatsuya Imai. We get the win. Thanks to the bullpen. Crawford versus Grant Holmes. We get the win. Win him in Atlanta. Braxton Garrett versus Schwellenbach. Get the win. Win him in Atlanta. It's going to be down to Feltner versus Burns in game 6. Oh, Vodnik blows that save. Actually, I think I have to do view today's games here to see it. That was it. Vodnik blows the save. It's going to be down to Cody Bradford versus Tatsuya Imai to return to the World Series and take on the Boston Red Sox. Revenge about 2007 if we can win, but we can't. We lose. We do not advance back to the World Series. That is it. One World Series title for us and a ALCS Game 7 as our bullpen. Looks like blew that game too. Jason Foley gets the loss as we blow 2 straight bullpen games for Game 6 and Game 7 to the Braves, who go on to win that World Series. So we get a title. We break the 307 mark 3 times. We did let our players get into the lineup, the guys that we drafted. And so I guess the question is, how did Brody do?
And it's the White Sox. No way. Well, I know they stacked up their pitching staff throughout this. Let's take a look here. They had Logan Gilbert. We faced him on an opening day at some point. And they have Mason Miller. Okay. Let's not need to come back in the 9th. Murakami. Yeah. Murakami. Claudio Garcia? Who is this? Who is this? Did I scout this guy at some point? Was he a 26 pick? He must have been. Okay, I don't remember him. Well, he looks like a problem. Gilbert, Gore, Langford, Kirk, Varsho. All right. Yeah, this is looking good. This is going to be tough. If we can get to a clinching game or a game 7, something like that, we'll enter. Let's see. Here we go. Game 1. Houck and Gilbert, we lose. Gordon and Gore. Game 2, we lose. Backs against the wall already. Cutter Crawford versus Shane Smith for game 3, we win. All right, we can even up the series. Cody Bradford's been excellent in the playoffs, 0.9 ERA. Going up against Davis Martin, game 4 of the World Series, we lose, and our backs are against the wall. We're gonna have to win 3 in a row. Tanner Houck and Logan Gilbert for game 5. It comes down to this. Everything from here on out is an elimination game. Houck and Gilbert, here we go. We win. 2 games left, going back home. Gordon and Gore. Game 6. Can we push a game 7? Here we go. We cannot. And in the final chance, we lose to the 2030 White Sox. As you can see, we went all in for one more chance, and most of the roster is now gone. Almost all those guys are gone who got us that home run record. We succeeded in that element of the challenge here, but could not get a World Series. I can't believe it, honestly. But I had a lot of fun with this challenge. I really did. And I want to take a look just in summary here at our general manager goals. So second year was disappointing, but after that, 94 wins, 96 wins, 97 wins, we just couldn't get the title. We just could not get the title. We got one step better every single season, and we probably would have won the World Series next year, although we lost a lot of guys, but the farm system is still in good shape. Shout out to Yordan Alvarez. I love you, just straight up. And yeah, this was a great challenge. Thank you to BigIrrelevant for having me on this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and take care.
So thanks very much for watching this. Go make sure to watch the video over on zbrodie's challenge, the $100 million challenge. It's a far more restrictive challenge than this video is. And we'll see how we did in that one as well. And make sure to subscribe to him as well. That video will be down in the description. And like, comment, subscribe, and please share if you want to see more of these, because I think we're interested in possibly running it back.
This might be the beginning of something here, and I'm very thankful that you have me on your channel, and hopefully we'll be doing more of these in the future.
Thank me for having on yours. You're coming up real big right now, so I feel like I'm hopping on the momentum train right now.